That's so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Why give your family just ordinary eggs when they can enjoy the best? Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition compared to ordinary eggs, with 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat, and 38% more lutein. Because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
The early game
with Bill Gunter.
So our question to you, while we're having a serious discussion, our question to you this morning is, what was your go-to pouting move with your parents?
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
I have a problem with my eyes. My eyes seem to be disconnected from my head and roll around a lot. I got kicked out of a meeting one time with Coach Holtz because he said something and apparently I thought it was hogwash. And I rolled my eyes. He said, Thorne, get out. He kicked me out and he said, your eyes, and this is a radio, so he's like, your eyes are all going like this.
And Jen Jensen.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game. See, I've done this I started doing a morning show in like April of 2016, an early morning show. First day that I ever did it was the national championship game between North Carolina and Villanova. That's when I actually started doing like 6 a.m. mornings, right? So I've kind of become accustomed to the late night game, the early morning, the quick turnaround, if you will. Not everybody... people are always like, well, I get up at 5:30. I get up at 5. I do that. Okay. But you don't have to sound coherent and like make sense. And I know a lot of people are already saying, and Jen's probably one of them, like, wait, when have you sounded coherent and made sense at 6 a.m.? But the kind of quick turnaround time on that when you have a late night game, because I ask you now, because most people would come in and be like, man, what a really good basketball game last night. Overtime, South Carolina, who's been pretty much
awful all season,
plays their heart out. You get an incredible, you get multiple really. This was kind of the thing about it. We'll get into Brandon Miller, but on the South Carolina side of things, Preston, you got multiple really good performances. Gigi Jackson bounces back. Josh Gray's grabbing rebounds in there left and right. Zachary Davis is hitting a three-pointer here and there. And Meechie Johnson's just setting the world on fire. Meechie Johnson looked like the guy that I expected to play for the Gamecocks all year, play last night. And it's still not enough. And I want to come in here and be like, well, look, I see a lot of improvement. There's like this, there's that. And instead, my initial thought is, why'd you keep me up to 11:30 to lose?
Yeah, they kind of strung you along, huh? They strung you along. They could have gave you that ending at the very beginning and let you know, hey, this one's not going to turn out the way you think it is. Yeah, that was we knew, aside from South Carolina playing the number 2 team in the country, we knew it was going to be a difficult matchup for all of us fans. It's 9 o'clock. It's a school night. It's on somewhere deep in the annals of streaming where you can't find it.
It was on ESPN too.
Well, kind of.
But I will get into the streaming aspect of it, because if you want to talk about, I'd stayed up all night. Well, not all night, obviously, but I'd made it to 11:30. And I'll just give you this stream because I don't. What kind of television carrier do you have?
So right now we're with YouTube TV.
Okay, all right. So we're operating on the same level here.
Okay,
YouTube TV.
Balance. All right.
So South Carolina. So it's just so stupid. So Alabama makes 2 free throws to go up 76-74, I believe is what it was. They went up 2, and a timeout was called. And so during the timeout, I'm kind of like sitting there and I'm like checking my phone, and I start seeing texts like, I'm going to throw up. What an awful way to lose. This is me, like if you go in order, if I was scrolling from where it tells you new tweets. So like I hit the little button, and so I've got to go up, and it's like, oh, Michi, what a shot. Oh, Brandon Miller shouldn't have been playing. I can't believe he just beat us. I'm so sick. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, we're down 2. Why is my Twitter so far ahead of my television?
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line, I had paused it and was probably about a minute and a half behind the game. And I learned the the way the game ends is through Twitter, and I have to then like watch Michi Johnson make a very nice layup, and then Brandon Miller do his thing and finish with 41, and then Zach Davis, who just lost his mind and stepped out of bounds or just stepped halfway out of bounds and then chunked the ball down the court, and it really didn't matter because you only had 9/10 of a second. But yeah, that was look, it was a great game. They played good. Let's be honest. And that's a game that hopefully they can continue to build off of and move forward with.
It's really interesting because I have a soft spot in my heart for teams that battle through losing. I mean, remember last year I said Clark Lee probably should. I was very earnest about saying that he should be considered for coach of the year during the football season for pulling his team through that season. And I'm starting to feel this way about Lamont Paris, about this team. They didn't win the game last night, but that team that played last night is a directly different team than the one that played and got blown out by 40 against Texas A&M early on that same court earlier in the year. This is a totally different team. And again, we're in big boy adult basketball, so we're not saying that there's moral victories, but that performance last night has to, if I have to give a shout out to myself, maybe something is growing. Maybe there is something. There is something budding with Coach Paris and the team. So, I mean, there's nothing you can't hang your head. There's nothing to be ashamed of in that performance. It was a solid performance, and they just didn't come out on the upper side. But I think something might be brewing. Maybe something's clicking with this team.
As a person who coached basketball, and we're watching as we start talking about it, it's on ESPN right here in front of us. And that was the Michi Johnson layup. And then there's the Brandon Miller finisher. And then that's where Zach Johnson just that play cracked me up. But there is so many things that this team, this is going to sound very negative, and I don't mean it for it to, but there is so many things that this team does that I dislike that Lamont Paris can fix, that he will fix, if that makes sense. There are times that this team goes too much one-on-one. Like, there are times that you just Michi Johnson and Gigi Jackson. And Michi was great last night. Gigi was very good. But there are times they're just like, I don't think I've taken a shot in like the last 3.5 minutes, and I don't really care if it's 1-on-5. I am putting this shot up. There are times where it's just, there are things about this team that I was listening to Mike Morgan and Greenberg last night. I have to go back and look up his name. All of a sudden, the announcer, Seth, thank you. I kept wanting to call him Scott, Sean, and he was
Mike.
Yeah,
which one of them?
Seth Greenberg. And they were talking about the job that Lamont Paris has done in year one of establishing a foundation of culture. And it actually, I started thinking, I was like, man, this really, maybe Alabama's having an off night. Maybe they're just not playing up to their par. Maybe some of what's been going on with Brandon Miller got to him. But it doesn't matter. This is still a team that I watched get battered around in Charleston. And this is a team that I saw get drilled by not a very good George Washington team on the road. And so you can go through the games. And I now kind of go back to the last 4 or 5 games. And yeah, last week, Vanderbilt on that Tuesday night was kind of ugly. They got behind 20 at half. But by and large, this team has continued to fight and continue to play hard. And Preston, I'll ask you, just setting that foundation moving forward, because there are things I like. And like I said, I think the things that I don't like, Lamont Paris can correct in the offseason and continue. And look, there's some of it, Gigi Jackson, I get it. We've all been there, right? At some point in our life, you get called up against a highly thought of opponent. You go, I'm going to go toe-to-toe with him. I'm highly thought of too. I can be a stud too, because there were times last night Gigi Jackson decided, I don't need 4 other teammates. I'll handle it. Brandon Miller's carrying it on his own on his end. I'll do the same down here. And it didn't always work out the way he needed it to.
Yeah, and I think last night illustrated the difference I was talking about yesterday between a lottery pick and a first-round pick. It's pretty consensus that Gigi's going to be a first-round guy, but it's really consensus that Brandon Miller is going to be 1, 2, or 3 in the draft.
He's two. I've watched a lot of basketball.
He's going to be number 2.
He's 2. Yeah.
And he put up 41 last night, and at times he looked unstoppable. He looked like he was playing on a different level. Gigi looked good. He looked solid. He looked capable, but he didn't look like that other guy. That's one thing.
Well, one thing to that, the age difference between those two.
100%.
2 years age difference there. Brandon Miller's 20, Gigi's 18. That's why a lot of people go, oh, he can't do this, and I don't see that. And look, I'm not saying that Gigi Jackson will be that in 2 years
It's
if you
possible.
give him 2 more years. But that's what a lot of NBA scouts are going to look at and be like, okay, and Mike Morgan and Seth Greenberg talked about it. What are we projecting here? Because there's a lot of raw tools for Gigi Jackson, who last night, what I love the most, he was aggressive, at least trying to make things happen. He didn't get some calls there at the end, but that was a younger body going into the lane against some physically grown men, and it hurt him at times.
Yeah, that's like I don't know if the old Cat Williams joke he used to compare. He said, that they had the Chrysler 300, and he thought that was a nice car till he saw it near a Bentley.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, that's the Bentley.
Yeah.
That's a real one. And I think sometimes it's good for the person in question to see, oh yeah, I'm the best on my team, but oh wait, that's actually what the best really looks like. So while it is sort of an awakening for Gigi to see what number one looks like, it is aspirational also. So you can see, okay, that's what I can be. That's what's projected for me in the future. So I don't think there's a loss in seeing the number 2 player who's going to be drafted dominate, because that's what they're supposed to do. I think it's more of a win for the team that they were able to keep it in that close.
Yeah, again, the NBC Sports mock draft has Scoot Henderson at 2. He actually plays for he plays in the G League.
It's a great name.
Haven't seen him, obviously. And then Amin Thompson is number 3 projected point guard, shooting guard. That's another 6'7", 210-pound guy. And again, he's straight out of the
Because
G
really
League.
quickly, if your name is Scoot, I feel like you should be a 6'1" point guard, and that's probably not true.
What is Scoot? I think he's 6'4".
No, that's too tall for your name to be
6'2", 200. Yeah. So
Scoot needs to be probably 6 feet or under.
Yeah, well, Scoot Henderson is projected as 2. So last night, if you were at the game, if you watched it, far and away, Brandon Miller is right now projected. There's multiple drafts. I've pulled up NBCSports.com, but he's actually far and away projected as the top. There's no other college player in the top 5 of most mock drafts. The next one comes in, Jarace Walker of Houston comes in as the next guy.
All of that's important, Bill, but we need to talk about the viewing experience.
Okay.
Of that game.
We will.
Because I promise you, Bill, I tried. I really did try.
Well, the first question will be easy. We'll answer this before we go to break. Have you not been waking up at whatever time you wake up to come in? Would have you made it?
Possibly.
Okay. All right. Because
possibly
that does come into play when you start look, I have no role in the outcome of this game. And I've watched enough to be able to discuss it. Looking at the final box score is just going to be kind of nice. So we'll get to that. It was a late night game. They made it later by going to overtime. We'll get into that a little bit. South Carolina baseball yesterday. I don't know what to make of South Carolina baseball. Like this start. I need a 3-2 game to kind of be like, oh, okay, all right. It's not a video game. They're playing 12-0 yesterday. The Gamecocks roll. We'll talk about that a little bit. They'll get ready for a series against Penn. Reminder, coming up today after us from 10 to 11 o'clock here on the Garnet Trust Hour, James Hicks will be stopping by to hang out with the Garnet Trust crowd. James, yesterday, the pitcher for South Carolina, got the starter for the Gamecocks. Hicks, really good before his injury yesterday. He kind of reverted back to that. 5 innings pitched, gave up just 2 hits, struck out 5, walked 2. Very good performance for him. Matthew Becker, Austin Williamson, and Dylan Eskew combined to finish off a shutout of Queens College. So the Gamecocks moved to 5-0 yesterday in baseball. We'll get to that. There is some football this weekend that I've got marked down that I want to get to here later up. I say this weekend, there's football tonight. Are you ready? I hate to say this. I got down a path yesterday, and what started as a joke may become an obsession.
Okay.
Obsession.
Are we going to be the number one XFL source of XFL?
The search for the XFL expert may end right here in this chair I sit in.
He's taking it upon himself.
Battle Hawks and Sea Dragons tonight. We'll get into that. 803-404 6100. It'll also lead me to ask, what is your because we started this one yesterday and Walking Tall was getting out to a strong start. What is your favorite rock movie?
Also, we was having problems asking the question because we asked, what is your favorite rock movie? And I got corrected, it's The Rock. So, but that sounds really awkward in a sentence. What is your favorite The Rock movie? I don't know if that works right. So we're trying to work on the wording on that.
It's after I'd been corrected by Tony Annan, who told me it's not the Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah.
So a lot to do there. 803-404-6100. Yeah, we got a list of topics. We'll get back into Preston's viewing experience last night. If you want to weigh in on that basketball game, if you're getting up and you stayed up till about 11:30, 803-404-6100, how you can join us. And then, of course, in about 2.5 hours, Kerry Tharp makes his appearance. We judge Preston's first go through the Pick'em contest. Jen tries to high five. Maybe Reggie Anderson will stop by. Jen, we should really put it out there. If Reggie would like to come by, it would mean he would have to come into work earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But if he wants to come hop on a mic, and that way I can watch him make his pick, it would make me feel better.
Interesting.
It would make me feel better. We'll get to all this. A lot to do this morning. Certainly want you to be a part of the program. 803-404-6100. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on the next Extra Point.
I think you're going to see some Browse, run and pass game concepts. You're going to see some NFL stuff, and you're going to see tempo. And all those things, I think, are things that Shane Beamer likes and wants it to be about. We also know that having pro elements is something he's interested in. That checks that box. NFL experience. He is the hire. So now I think you have to judge him on what happens from this point forward as South Carolina's offensive coordinator, as opposed to, what happened in the past, because in about an hour, it's going to be official.
The Extra Point with Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central. 9 a.m. to noon on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Gerard Mayo. The 37-year-old former Patriots All-Pro linebacker and current New England inside linebackers coach has been the source of considerable speculation in the Boston media lately. Mayo renegotiated his contract and spurned multiple interview offers for defensive coordinator positions. Could he possibly be under consideration to eventually succeed the Hoodie? I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports Radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. For your guaranteed biggest refund and 50% off tax prep, switch to Jackson Hewitt. 50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Plus text tags entitled with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. Thousands of people around the Midlands had their credit damaged during the pandemic. Now, as they attempt to reestablish credit, they find themselves being turned down. JT wants to help, and he has the power to say you're approved. Take advantage of the lowest prices on Jeeps right now, up to $7,500 off. Rams up to $11,000 off. You can drive for just $349 a month and help your credit. JT's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 378 Lexington, jtsjeep.com.
Experience the future of connectivity with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest speeds in the nation for $49.99 a month. Advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, free for 12 months. And a Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G, free for 12 months. That's Spectrum One. Visit Spectrum.com or your local Spectrum store today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Did you hear? South Carolina Department of Corrections has huge pay raises for officers. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years old and have a high school diploma or GED. Visit joinscdc.com to apply. Sponsored by South Carolina Department of Corrections, SCBA, and this station.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Take a look at your current traffic conditions. It appears we have just one tie-up to let you know about, and that's Irvin Jumper Street at Highway 321. Taking a look at your forecast today, we are looking for still some nice conditions and looking for a high of about 84. 79 tomorrow with some evening showers and some showers on Saturday, high of 60. Right now, though, not too bad, 64 at 107.5 The Game.
The Game. A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The Early Game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Great effort by the guys. I don't, what do I say to those guys when I go back to the locker room? Are you kidding me? Man, tremendous effort, tremendous. The scouting report really mattered. I thought we did a great job in what we wanted to do in the ball screens. The energy of the guys, the communication, the bouncing back after a really good team makes a run. Mm-hmm. The look in their eyes, all of it. The playmaking, made some shots, made some plays, all of it. I'm sick for these guys, honestly. I'm sick for these guys because they did what they needed to do. You know, it came down to crunch time. They needed a couple buckets, and they got a layup in two critical situations, and plenty of other stuff. We missed some free throws. We fouled a 3-point shooter. As it comes back down to it, those things can't happen. But I got no problems with what our guys did tonight.
That is Lamont Paris postgame with Derek Scott talking about the effort and performance. We'll get to Preston's viewing experience there because you stay up, you invest, and we're not even part of the team. We don't invest in the same manner they do. without putting down the former coach, which is I like Frank Martin. Let me be clear. I'm a big Frank Martin fan. But I hear that post game after a loss like that. I hear a guy in Lamont Paris who is excited about what he's seeing. You mentioned it when you see, as a coach, maybe as a player too, you don't want to have the moral victories, but I think more so as a coach, when you see your vision, even when you're losing like this, but then you take a championship team, which is what Alabama is. Alabama can go and win a national championship this year with Nate Oates, and you take them to the wire, and you're sitting at 10-17, and it makes you 10-18. Preston, I hear a coach there who I think sees everything he's had to do this year, the ups and downs, dealing with the Jackson situation, dealing with some blowouts, trying to get this team together, dealing with a few injuries here and there. I feel like I hear a guy who's excited about the future of his team.
That's the one that hurts as a coach. That's the one because they've done everything that you've asked them, and as a coach, you just wish there was something that you could have pulled to get them over the hump. And that's the one where Lamont's going to go back and he's going to he didn't sleep last night. Because he ran over that game and figured out what play could I have run, what could I have done to get those guys in that right position. Because as he stated, they did everything that he asked them. That's the one that really hurts as a coach. You can't the one where they don't play, they don't show up, there's no effort. It's like, man, come on.
Right.
But once they finally do, and you're coaching that team, and you just can't get them over that hump, that's the one that really haunts you as a coach.
And I say the thing about Frank Martin because I feel like you would hear Frank coming to that post game, and while he would be positive about the effort and energy, he'd be like, "Well, Derek, we just couldn't get." I hear a different tone from Lamont. I just because that's hard. You've been there. You've. I'm sure we've all been there at some point in our playing days where you play as hard as you can, and just the score doesn't work out for you, and you're giving the effort, you're giving all you can, and things aren't going right, and you're 10-18. Were you ever on a team similar to that? Again, I know I'm very, very well versed in your football days because we were traveling through college together, and some of your outcomes impacted the parties and how the things went after the game for me. So I'm very well versed in that. And your 5 and 7 seasons were very, very interesting. They're totally different in terms of getting off to a great start. But were you ever on a team like this where it's all the hard work, yet it just doesn't pay off on the win column?
I've never really played on a team like this, but I have coached a couple of teams like this where that's why I was just saying I can really relate to Lamont in that case where you look in your players' eyes, you see the effort that they've given, they've adhered to the game plan, they've made all the changes, and it's just not quite enough. And you as a coach, you just wish there was a play you could have called or a timeout, or maybe there was some little strategy that you couldn't give them, and you just you didn't have it. This is the game where you as a coach, you feel like you came up short. When your players gave everything, you just feel like, I wish I could have got them over the hump. And you didn't. Ultimately, as he said, the players have to make a few plays that they didn't, but that's what I also hear. I also hear a coach who is taking responsibility for the product that he's putting on the court.
The only thing I would disagree with him on is at the very end, and I'm sure there is very good reasons for it that he has. And I'm just kind of glancing at our sheet here. Maybe we'll get to it. Maybe cut 17. I don't know what he said in the postgame interview because I was sound asleep. But I personally probably would have had Josh Gray in for Benjamin Bosman Verdonk, and not give a lot of credit. Alabama ran a play to get Bosman Verdonk, especially in the final play of regulation in which Miller was able to get open. You had Michie Johnson on him. They set a down screen. Bosman Verdonk got switched off onto Miller. The only reason I might have had Josh Gray is I think Josh Gray's a better rim protector than Bosman Verdonk. And at that point, you kind of figured Miller was going to the basket on the very last play that Miller scored on. Their big guy got in there, was able to get his hips on Bosman Verdonk and seal him off and keep him away from Miller as Miller went to his left. But I think, because I'll give you an example, Josh Gray continues to show me what hard work and coaching can be, because he's not a finished product, and you're going to get him back next year. Josh Gray last night, 8 points, had 6 rebounds, was in there, was a force, and caused some issues, even on stuff that he doesn't get statistics for, just altering shots and being a presence. that might have been the only thing I would debate with Lamont Paris on not having him in there, who I think is a better presence around the rim than Bosman Verdonk. But certainly, again, I can kind of understand where he's going for. Now, the thing is getting to that point in the night to watch it or to make it a good game. You had your own way of watching it that was kind of interesting.
Well, after all that talk about effort, I got to say I did not put in a great effort last night. I wanted to watch the game, but if we're gonna keep in the basketball realm, I didn't fight through the screen. I went underneath the screen. Somebody just set a screen for me, and I just like, all right, man, you can have it. What happened was the game was supposed to start at 9:00.
It's true. It did start about 12 minutes late.
Because there's a game ahead of it, right?
Cincinnati and Temple.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I didn't tune in to watch Cincinnati versus Temple. So I'm ready at 9:00.
So what you're saying is you just took 12 minutes off the end time and were like, and just blamed ESPN.
Listen. I had a heroic effort of getting the child in the bed early. She was asleep. The night was laid out. I was like, I'm going to watch this game tonight. But apparently I didn't really want to watch the game because at 9:00, I turned to ESPN2, and it's Cincinnati versus who?
Mm-hmm. Temple.
Temple, yeah.
Temple.
That wasn't for me.
Okay.
And then they said, you can catch us on ESPN News.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill, I didn't make the effort.
It was too chill. Well, it depends on how you line up your YouTube.
Somewhere between 9:00 and 9:12, I went to sleep.
You just, oh wow, okay, all right. Well, see, honesty is the best thing here on this program. No, I flipped down. I was trying to think of what poll question I had last night as it pertained to my Waffle House dinner.
But you understand how long that 12 minutes could have been,
yeah.
right?
I mean, luckily I was flipping, and so I was watching, like the Butler game. They were playing DePaul, so I was able to watch some of that, which we won.
I was keeping up.
See, so there was some local interest in that.
Exactly. but not the Cincinnati Temple.
Not Cincinnati Temple.
I was fully immersed. I got into Connecticut Providence at 6:30. I went down a path with Kentucky and Florida for a little while.
You're very much in.
I'm full on basketball mode right now. I'm ready for bracketology.
Bill, I went under the screen.
You did. You didn't even go under the screen.
I didn't go. That's the screen.
No, you did. You just Yeah, you stopped. You didn't even run in and create any force. You stopped. You just saw the screen and went, nope. He's open. Let him go. He's gonna shoot it. It's on him.
But I had intentions, but I can't even say that. I'm not happy with my effort last night. I just wasn't aggressive going for the game. I thought it was gonna be there for me. When they presented a little bit of friction for me, I turned it down.
Poor effort. We've still got a long way to go with Preston as we work him into working in the morning show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the time you've learned it. Both of us, we've come in here grumpy and stared at each other and thrown stuff at each other before because we stay up for a late night game.
I was coming off such a high of putting the baby to sleep. She was gone. She was done. And I was like, I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
And
didn't come close, huh?
Didn't
even make it. 803-404-6100. We'll get out to the Love Chevy phone lines when we get back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
The #1 Gamecocks travel to Knoxville to take on Tennessee. Tip-off 7 p.m.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Tired of paying over MSRP for new vehicles? Then come to Herndon Chevrolet and smile with a great selection of new Chevrolets on the ground at invoice pricing. We have new Chevrolets starting at only $23,998. Visit your hometown Chevy dealer today or find new roads online at herndonchevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 864-262-6760 for complete details.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Metz Plumbing is growing and looking for exceptional plumbers and apprentices. If you enjoy helping people in our community, if you want a flexible work schedule, If you're looking to earn $85,000 to $100,000 per year, plus benefits and paid time off. If you want free training in order to become a licensed plumber. And if you're ready for a rewarding career as part of a family, then we want to talk to you. For information, call Tammy at 732-DRIP or apply online at metsplumbing.com.
732-DRIP. Was text and title with approved critical 888-411-7640 for details. Do you want a truck? JT's got them at JT's Dodgeland. South Carolina's truck giant is loaded with Rams. New 2022 Bighorn Ram up to $11,000 off. Drive for just $349 a month. New Chargers and Challengers save $5,000 below MSRP. Credit concerns? Other dealers don't have the power of South Carolina's truck giant. JT is the man who says yes. Dodgeland on Greystone, jtsdodge.com. President's Day sales event.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. After missing the playoffs for the first time since 2018, the Titans are making a whole lot of changes. Tennessee releasing three-time Pro Bowl offensive lineman Taylor Lewan Wednesday, as well as leading receiver Robert Woods, kicker Randy Bullock, and linebacker Zach Cunningham. The moves clear about $38 million in salary cap space for the team. Elsewhere, after calling the offensive plays for the Patriots in 2022, could Matt Patricia be heading back to the defensive side of the ball? The current New England assistant and former Lions head coach interviewed for the Broncos D coordinator job Wednesday with new Denver head coach Sean Payton. And Niners quarterback Brock Purdy isn't going under the knife just yet. Purdy is delaying surgery on his injured elbow until at least March due to ongoing inflammation. But NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reports there is still optimism the quarterback will be ready for the start of the 2023 season. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Spectrum Business is the no-nonsense way for small businesses to stay connected with fast, reliable internet service and Spectrum Business Connect, the all-in-one app to make calls, host video conferences, and send texts. Connect to customers from any device, anywhere. Get both and get one mobile line free for 1 year. No contracts, no hidden fees, no nonsense. Just business. Visit spectrum.com/business today. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
We are seeing a couple accidents to get your Thursday morning started. One in West Columbia at Lawrence Road and Methodist Park. Not really causing any delays and is expected to be cleaned up here very shortly. We're also seeing another accident as you head south on Interstate 26. It's in the eastbound lane near exit 129. Also not causing any backups just yet. Stay tuned for more updates later on throughout the morning. I'm Eric Zernick with your First Alert Traffic with WIS News 10.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
No question. I thought we were tired. I thought we were tired, and that affected us in a lot of ways. Just even down the stretch there, at the end, I would have probably gone to a lineup where we had 5 perimeter guys out there, knowing that they were going to try to drive it. We could switch everything.
Mhm.
Well, Ben was our smallest available guy that had played any minutes at all.
Right.
And so, you know, other than Eli, and that's hard to stick him in a moment like that.
Sure.
But fatigue, there's no question. Some of our guys were fatigued on the defensive end. I thought it showed itself a little bit. And so it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that was a factor for us. But guys played a lot of minutes.
That's Lamont Paris last night after the game talking about the minutes played. Beachy Johnson leads the team 43 out of the 45 minutes. Gigi Jackson played 42. Jacoby Wright played 37. Hayden Brown played 31 before fouling out. Josh Gray with 29. Zach Davis 25. You know, again, it goes back to building for the future and what you took away, what you're willing to take away from last night. The one thing that I think Lamont Paris will take away, he's got to continue to build depth. He has to continue. You'll lose Gigi Jackson after this year. You'll lose Hayden Brown after this year. You've got to continue to go out and build depth for games like this.
Yeah, so he's not talking about fatigue as in, you know, the guys aren't in shape. He's talking about, you know, they worn down by playing at that level. And as you said, depth sort of corrects that, where you can get some guys in, spell you for a couple minutes here and there to sort of recharge your battery. And they just don't have the guys to do that right now.
Some of it is you don't have the depth. Some of it is you just don't have the true ball play. I mean, because it's not like Alabama was going deep into their bench. Alabama had Brandon Miller play 42. They had 3 other guys with 30-plus minutes, and Noah Clowney from Dorman played 27. They had nobody else play over 20 minutes.
Yeah, but there's
game.
a 100%. But when you're playing against a team that's better than you,
right,
and you're playing above your level, it takes an extra level of energy to get there. And I don't know. I mean, if you played sports, you understand that. Where it's like, yes, Alabama played the same minutes, but they weren't expending the same amount of energy to be in that game. So yeah, it's difficult if you're not as good as the other team. You give it everything you have, and you just sort of wear out by the end.
Clowney, by the way, Noah Clowney is a really good player. 8 points, 8 rebounds last night for the freshman.
Was he part of all those Dorman?
He was part of Thomas Ryan's teams. By the way, Lexington and Dorman will play on Monday night.
That'll be a big one.
Up in Greenville, I think Bob Jones University for the Upper State Championship. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Rich wants to weigh in this morning on the basketball team. Rich, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Doing well, guys. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Did have the opportunity to be fully invested in basketball last night as well. Speaking of, Bill, I had the opportunity to come home from work, go over to Lexington High School to the house that Bill built.
Yeah, that's right.
And watch those Wildcats play. And then in the final, on to the Final Four. Exciting game. Wasn't planning on being as invested in the Carolina game when I came home. Got home about 8:30. By the time you eat a little bit of supper at that point, you know, the game was about to come on. My oldest son said earlier in the week, "Dad, I'm going to the Carolina game. You want to go?" I was like, "No, I'm gonna go to the local game." And you know, it's 9 o'clock tip off for Carolina. So if they play like they have in the past, you know, I can have Netflix on by about 9:30, 9:35, and probably be asleep by, you know, 10 o'clock. So I got to admit, once they started late, I too did not care about Cincinnati Temple. So once they finally came on, I had it on in the background, was finishing up some things. And about 3 minutes to go in the first half, my son texted, "Dad, are you watching this?" And I'm like, "Well, no, not really." He said, "You know, we're beating the number 2 team in the country. There's fights in the stands.
Yeah.
You know, we got it all going on over here." And I'm like, okay, well, you know, too bad they got to play 2 halves. I wasn't very confident. I got to be honest. And so my wife had already checked out. She was reading a book or Netflix or something. And so she was on the text thread and she was like, "Well, I guess I need to watch this too." And we started watching the second half, and then you get sucked in. You get sucked in pretty much. So I was excited for the team, you know, but kind of disappointed at the end. Crap, it's 11-20, and I'm just watched us lose by 2. The margin of error for the team is still, I think, very small. But I do see some improvement, like you guys have said. Offensively, it can be just can be frustrating at times to watch the offensive flow, the one-on-one basketball. You know what you're going to get with Meechie Johnson. You know, if Meechie's sitting from the outside, then you got a better chance at being successful. And he was last night, you know, hitting deep 3-pointers, throwing them in at half court at the buzzer first half, you know. I will say this, 2 things, and then I'll let you guys go at it. But Jacoby Wright, the improvement of Jacoby Wright, I think has been very important over the last several games. To see that kid have some success after, last year's first year, kind of going through that whole program last year, to see him come on it's been a pleasure to see. I still think too, the second thing, the defensive breakdowns, they've gotten better defensively, but even at the end of the game last night, I'm thinking, okay, well, who's going to go one-on-one? Are we going to be able to get that big stop? We get them earlier in the game, but when it counts, and like you said earlier, Bill, I think Josh Gray maybe could have helped out, at the end, because when they switched that screen, it was the other guy he just backed down and, to lay up, costing the game. But it was a joy to watch. We'll battle through the day. Even after the game right there, you're so wired up, you have problems going to sleep. So I got to bed about 12:15, and we're going to go at it today. So I hope you guys are good to go, and y'all have a good day as well.
You too. Thanks for the phone call, Rich.
Battle through the day. That's the.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. You and I mean, like, there could be a nap at 9:30 for me. Like, I not gonna lie that I have to battle through the day. Like, I've got school line pickup duty at 1:30. So 803-404-61. I want to come back to that on the GG Jackson thing about.
There's a basketball point I want to talk about also.
We'll get to that. Well, Steve is on the phone lines as well. We'll get to him all in the next segment. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The Halftime Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
I remember sending off Dave to join the KISS Army when I was in the second grade. Is that about the same thing?
Similar, very similar, except you can do it online. Kinsiders. They're sisters. They have VIPs, before, and you get to meet them, and they sign your stuff and all that, and you get to hang with them and, talk to everybody in the band.
They shook Dave's hand. He hasn't washed his hands since.
I pull my shirt down, give him a Sharpie. Here, sign my chest.
sign my chest.
All right. See, this is my fault. I usually want to blame other people for things. This is my fault.
Noon to 3.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Going out and purchasing a brand new vehicle, it actually really should be a thrilling experience. The folks at Love Chevrolet understand that. They start by having cookies in the lobby. Trust me, they're delicious cookies. I've been over there multiple times, not even to go car shopping, just to pick up a cookie. Then they actually have massaging, reclining chairs in there as well. Put you right in the mood. That's not really the important stuff of buying a car, but it's how you start what should be a fantastic experience. The important stuff is that you get a great deal. Love Chevrolet understands that. They have made a promise to you, the customer, not to sell above MSRP. They even offer you the $1,000 low price guarantee, which means you can shop other dealerships, take their deal back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they will top it. That's an important part of enjoying the experience. The next part, having the largest selection possible. Let's be honest. You want to go somewhere where you can pick and choose. You can find the interior, the exterior, all the little technology and gadgets that are in cars today. You want to have a great selection of vehicles. And with 14 acres of vehicles, Love Chevrolet has got you taken care of. And then what's actually the most important part is having someone friendly there to walk you around the lot, to make sure you understand how a car, truck, or SUV fits your everyday needs. And that incredibly smart, nice, helpful customer service staff, sales team at Love Chevrolet is ready to be there for you. And that is what has put Love Chevrolet ahead of the competition for the last 60 years. Go visit them for yourself, I-26 in Harbison, between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
Sponsored by Take 5 Oil Change. At Take 5, they're faster than you think. That means they'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes your fancy designer half-calf, heavy cream, no-whip mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while their fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
Just text entitled with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details.
I love Kia.
You'll love the savings on brand new Kias this month at JT's Kia. We're loaded with new Kias. Hundreds of new Kia Sorento, Soul, Rio, Fortes to choose from. Fall head over wheels with a new Kia Sorento. Drive for just $219 a month. Has your credit heart been broken? Other dealers said no, but JT can say those 3 special words. Yes, yes, yes. The cars you love at prices you'll cherish. This month at JT's Kia. Killian Commons Road, jtskia.com.
Love is in the air.
It's a brand new day.
Birds are singing duets together.
And squirrels are chasing each other across the treetops.
Everyone has a twinkle in their eye.
Boom, chicka-boom.
Don't let junk get in the way.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
We've got magic in our fingertips.
And that's why everyone starts dancing.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
The 88th running of the Carolina Cup races, presented by Mulliken Law, is Saturday, April 1st in classically Camden, South Carolina, where spring begins. Make your plans to attend this fantastic fun event with the entire family. Gates open at 9 a.m. and the fun begins, where fashion is on parade and thoroughbreds jump the fences racing to victory. Get your tickets now and plan to party and tailgate with family and friends all day. Just check out carolinacup.org for tickets and details.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Run the Cup. Lexington Medical Center's Governor's Cup Road Race will celebrate its 50th anniversary on April 7th and 8th. South Carolina's annual running festival starts Friday, April 7th with an expo and a Main Street Mile, open to all running levels. There's also a free Main Street Mile for kids on Friday. On Saturday, April 8th, choose from a half marathon, 5K run, or 5K walk. Don't miss the fun of the finish area with music, food, and activities before the awards and post-race celebration. For more information or to register, visit governorscupsc.org.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And take a look at your traffic conditions. Things looking really pretty good out there this morning. Just one tie-up, Irvin Jumper Street at Highway 321. Earlier accidents have been cleared, so that's good news there. Forecast for today, looking for a high of 84. 79 tomorrow with some afternoon and evening showers, and some showers on Saturday with a high of 60. Right now, though, not too bad. It's 64 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
6:55 on your Thursday morning commute. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen as we get you up and out the door. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone line. Steve wants to weigh in on men's and women's basketball. Steve, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm great, man. How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Good. Proud of the guys last night. They put in a good effort. Very proud of that. I don't agree with the NCAA women had put that one-loss team in front of Carolina at top as number one team in the nation. So my suggestion to Don Staley is don't play a close game with Tennessee because feel like me to be targeted. So you better just go in there and make a statement tonight. And as far as the baseball goes, for me as a Gamecock fan, it's kind of hard to get excited about baseball right now because they're not really playing nobody. And they got the opening season with a 9-game homestand. I think Kessel coming in here. I don't know when, but I know they're coming in soon. To me, in those first 6 games, they should have put a Citadel or College Charleston or some kind of stiffer competition in to really see where they're at. Because you don't know where your team is at when you're playing teams you're supposed to be, that you're going to be. So I'm not sure where we're at with baseball because those teams are not really competitive. So on that note, one other thing. I heard y'all mention North Carolina Tar Heel basketball yesterday. But I heard something yesterday. I'm pretty sure y'all know this. This will be the first time that Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky may not make the NCAA tournament. When was the last time that happened? I can't remember. So can't stay on top forever. I mean, look at New England Patriots. They finally came down. So the world of sports, I think I'm taking my call.
No problem. Thank you, Steve. Real quick, what he's referring to with women's basketball is that the AP Top 25, there's 28. I don't know what first place votes, I guess is how you say it. South Carolina had 27 to 20. Indiana.
There's one coward out there.
Went to Indiana, got one first place vote. That's just what he means by that on that.
Somebody's parent is a voter.
Indiana did, I think, beat South Carolina in like 2019. It was in a Bahamas tournament. They don't have many. South Carolina women's team doesn't have many losses to look back on, but that's one of them. One other thing he said about North Carolina, Duke, and Kentucky, I actually think that was kind of recent that all three didn't make it, I think. But Duke's in. Duke's going to be fine. And North Carolina did hold on last night.
Did they win last night?
I know while you were sleeping, they did come back and knock off Notre Dame, a game that they had to have last night. So we'll continue talking basketball. It was a good performance last night. We'll get into a few other things, baseball as well. And I'm fired up. We're going to talk some XFL. It's Thursday night at XFL, folks.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus meeting.
Here is your chance. If you want to yell at Preston now for not getting on the live stream, I'll just move this right here. And you can have conversations with Preston.
I don't know how this works. There's still a lot going on. What's up, y'all?
He can hear you, and then Jen is in there. Now you're good. So here,
Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for tuning in, listening. We will get this right at some point.
Yeah, they can hear. So you are basically just talking here. So you can hear me in the background, but well, I mean, you can't hear yourself coming back through, but it is that where Jen started talking, you'd be able to hear her.
So many screens. I think I'm gonna be in a dilemma with our big XFL.
Yep, see, right up there we go. Yep, Kelly's been.
Get with the program. You're right. I brought my computer today.
Oh, yeah.
I did bring my computer, so that's a step in the right direction.
Preston did go to bed early, so he does look well rested.
Somewhere between 9 and 9:12. I don't know what happened. I was there. I'll tell you, I was there. I was ready. And then it was like, it's going to be on ESPN News. I was like, well, don't think I can do that. That's going to be a bridge too far. What's up, David? Good to see you.
And then really all you'd have to do is just come down to because actually, so the U-turn, and then just wait a minute. So yeah, you just go right there, just click over to the left, and that's how.
The Hook and Ladder has been a firehouse of originals since day one. Piled high with Virginia honey ham, smoked turkey breast, and melted Monterey Jack. The top off, a portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment for first responders. That's why at Firehouse Subs, they don't just make subs, they make subs that are big, bold, and crazy. They make their subs differently because their subs make a difference. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives.
Yeah, Kelly. Bill's still talking to himself during the break, so not gonna finish with that.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
did.
Coming through Jen's.
I need better lighting,
Yeah, there's
better
I
angle.
coached at Somerville, Dave. I mean, no, I didn't. What am I talking about? I coached at Blythewood High School. I went to Somerville, coached at Blythewood High School. I coached there for a good amount of time.
Started coaching when you were 7.
Exactly.
I know. All right, we're back to the top of the hour.
All right. Let me get my computer back. So
glad we had
Yeah.
Preston time.
Huh?
So glad we're getting Preston time.
Yeah, we'll do that again in the next break. Maybe that's what we have to start doing. It's just making Preston do the live stream during the breaks.
That'll work.
Hour number 2 on a Thursday. And oh boy. Oh, goody gumdrops. Tonight, XFL football, Preston Thorne. It is the St. Louis Battlehawks against the Seattle Sea Dragons. Did you know Ron Zook is the defensive coordinator for the Sea Dragons?
That has been one of my favorite parts about the XFL is just looking at some of the coaches like, Hines Ward. That's interesting. Okay.
I gotta admit, I got down a rabbit hole
Wade
yesterday.
Phillips.
I got down an interesting rabbit hole yesterday on people in the XFL.
You went deep because you went to DCs and I didn't get that far.
Well, yeah. I mean, because some of these coaching staffs, like I don't know if people are aware. Bob Stoops is coaching in this puppy.
Bob
Like,
Stoops.
I mean, it's a
wait, but yeah, I thought Bob Stoops just didn't want to coach anymore.
I don't think he. They're being dead serious about what I'm bringing up here. This. Coaching in college, I actually had let me rephrase. Let's go serious here for just a second.
All right.
Back in December, as name, image, likeness was like, you saw what players were doing, right? Like they were just like, all right, well, school X is offering me this amount of money. What do you want to pay me? Multiple people that I used to know that coached in Columbia, I would still talk to them and cut up and stuff. And to a man right now, there's a general feeling that like coaching college football is not fun.
Well, that's where you see a lot of the Todd Monken, for example, going to the NFL. Obviously, it's always been the NFL is calling plays at the highest level of coaching, but it's been really difficult to get coaches to come back into the college ranks. So that's where you sort of see maybe some of the colleges struggling to hire big name OCs and DCs because a lot of them aren't necessarily so eager to come back into college ranks if they already have another opportunities in other places. But the XFL.
Bob Stoops is coaching. Now, let me finish this because I just actually came across another name that I missed yesterday because this is going well down the rabbit hole.
Let's go.
But this is a popular name.
Are they a good coach?
This is a popular name. It's a popular name. I don't know how this guy is as a coach, but let me finish my Bob Stoops thing.
Steve Spurrier?
Close. Really close.
Look at me.
Whoa.
I think Bob Stoops wants to coach in this because all you're doing is coaching football.
Okay.
Like literally, you're being handed a team and be like this is the nuts and bolts of coaching, right? Like you don't even have to do. You don't even have to go out and sign free agents. Essentially, I mean, you're not even like working the free agent market as a head coach trying to help your GM owner, right? Like this is essentially they're giving me a team, and all I get to do is like
all the good parts
coach.
of
Like
it.
I'm not having to recruit football players.
Mhm.
I'm not having to worry about 85, 18 to 23-year-olds out on the town partying at night. I'm not having to worry really about heavy duty NFL contracts. Like,
Oh
these,
man, okay. I like how
this
you're
is-
presenting this.
You see why some people
Okay.
like Bob Stoops, I can see like honestly, you could be like, Bo, this is not the NFL. If you don't like your playing time, I don't think you have another option. Like the USFL, I don't like
Okay.
this is the equivalent of like I'm coaching and you're the player and I'm in complete control. You're not making more than me. You see what I'm saying on why I can see where like Bob Stoops or somebody would want to
I see what you're saying.
not to the XFL, but Bob Stoops has had it so like if you're just why Steve Spurrier wanted to do it, which brings me to my next one. Bob Stoops, tight end special teams coach, Scotty Spurrier.
Scotty. Mm-hmm. That train's never late. Wherever Bob Stoops, Scotty will be very, very soon behind it.
That is Bob Stoops paying one back. I didn't know that until I had to actually go back and look because I'm looking at all the operations. This is from
Bob Stoops is the coach of the
he is of Arlington.
The Arlington Roughnecks.
This is where I'm not a guru just yet.
See, Bill, if you're gonna be an expert, you're gonna need to be able to have these.
You mentioned it, Wade Phillips.
Wade
Phillips
I didn't know that.
is doing big things here in this league.
Okay.
A player that we both watched growing up is the head coach in Orlando, Terrell Buckley.
Okay.
Terrell Buckley out there.
I don't think I wouldn't be able to pick Terrell Buckley out of a lineup. He needs to be wearing that 27 jersey.
How about this? How about this? Your assistant head, you got head coach Terrell Buckley. Your assistant head coach is Lamar Thomas.
Oh, okay. All right.
And your quarterback's coach is Shane Matthews.
So they just went and got all the Florida guys.
Yeah,
and
just basically.
Mhm.
Yeah, basically. Head coach of Las Vegas, Rod Woodson.
Okay.
Head coach of San Antonio. You've already mentioned this guy's name.
Hines Ward.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You got him coaching out there. Seattle has Jim Haslett.
Whoa.
Jim Haslett dropped all the way
the
down.
New York Giants? Is that what Jim Haslett was?
Think of the Giants, yeah.
Mhm.
That was his offensive coordinator. Very popular, big name. Very popular, coached in the NFL, head coach in the NFL, coached at Hawaii, coached at SMU. June Jones.
June
got a little.
If there's football being played, June will be around.
Got a June Jones again, the defensive coordinator. This is the game you can catch tonight. You can catch this game tonight. The Sea Dragons and the Battle Hawks. You got defensive coordinator Ron Zook. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. You go through this list of people who are in this league and what they're doing. The XFL. I'm slowly coming around. I think tonight it's a late game. By the way, we were talking about late games, but on Thursday night, I'm more okay with the late games. But yeah, we'll get into this. But Ron Zook back in coaching. Is there 803-404-6100? 803-404-6100. Who is the coach who is coaching? And please do not send in Will Muschamp because he is a good assistant coach. Who is the coach that's coaching somewhere in college or professionally? And you're like, really? How does that guy still have a job? Because I feel like you were going down this path with Kevin Steele to some extent. 803-404-6100. Who is the coach in college or professional sports that you like hear that name and you're like, really? How does this keep happening? What is happening here? 9:00 tonight on FX. The Battle Hawks travel to the Sea Dragons.
I don't have a coach for that, but my favorite named coach was recently hired in the NFL. You want to guess what his name is? It's almost as if this name can't be real. My number one man, Jim Bob Cooter.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that you saw him pop back up.
Jim Bob Cooter's back. I believe he's going to be the offensive coordinator with the Jaguars. And I don't know much about Jim Bob Cooter except that's his name, and it's Jim Bob Cooter. And I feel like if your name was Jim Bob Cooter, you would probably try and distance yourself from that name at some point, unless it was like Jim Bob.
It's like
Cooter.
wearing the number 13 in a sport. Like some coaches are superstitious; they won't let players wear 13 because it's the. And you feel like this is a name you don't want on your staff.
No. I'm saying if my name happened to be Jim Bob Cooter, I would change my name. I'd have to be like JVC or something, but like Jim Bob Cooter is just such a.
Did you just stop at Jim Bob?
Yeah.
Jim and Bob, buddy.
Jim Bob Cooter.
Going to be anonymous texter, going to be OC for the Colts. They'll be all weighing in on coaches you just can't believe are still have jobs. Anonymous texter goes, how does Lovie Smith keep getting jobs?
Lovey's like the cleanup man. He's just going to come in for a year. You know he's going to get fired after a year or so. He's nice.
He's really nice.
He's pleasant. You know, it's like, hey, Lovey, we have a terrible job. You want to get paid for a year?
You know what? He got paid and he cost the Texans the number 1 pick. That man has like that man was like, I'm here to pad the W's and the L. He was, I'm here to pad the W's and the L's. I don't care if me losing this end of season meaningless game gets you the number 1 pick in Bryce Young. I'm winning this ball game for me and for the city of Houston.
It's just like Lovey seems to be such a nice guy. You know, let's just keep him around.
Yeah, that's his name. You know,
Lovey.
It's not successful Smith. It's just Lovey Smith.
Lovey Smith. Beautiful beard.
Joe weighs in. He goes, Todd Grantham's defenses get cooked everywhere he goes. How does he have a job?
We always know Todd Grantham's going to bring that heat in the A-blitz, and they're just going to keep throwing over him. He's going to give up lots of touchdowns, and they're always going to be, well, you know, this Todd Grantham defense, they're so aggressive.
Like 803-404-6100. XFL late tonight, 9:00 FX. It's the Battle Hawks and the Sea Dragons. I feel like
also had a summary of Brian Schottenheimer's offensive career. Shout out to Marty, who was great, but Brian, not so much. Washington Redskins, 2001. He had the 28th ranked offense. Watched San Diego Chargers. He coached Drew Brees there. New York Jets. Mark Sanchez. 2012 with the St. Louis Rams. 25th, 21st, and 21st in offense. Then he went to the University of Georgia where they were promptly 85th in offense and got Mark Richt fired. Then he was the Indianapolis Colts quarterbacks coach, 30th in offense. Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator. This thing says it didn't let Russ cook. Then he was the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2021, where he had Trevor Lawrence, and they were the 32nd offense in the league. And he's back as the Cowboys offensive coordinator. So, Cowboys fans, good luck. You got a tried and true veteran in Brian Schottenheimer.
I'm just going through some of these names that are on this like playing tonight for St. Louis, right? All right. Because there's some names here you're going to be like, oh, okay, I remember him. That's okay. That's pretty cool. I'll give you the one that jumped out instantly, and he's got a special place in South Carolina fans' hearts, and it's for the right reasons for South Carolina. It's for all the wrong reasons. Remember Will Hill?
Oh yeah, was the Thrill Will? Was that Will? That was Kenny Trill.
No. Will Hill is who Steven Garcia punked and ran over in the end zone.
Okay.
In Gainesville to win the SEC championship. I'm looking at the Battle Hawks roster right now. I'm kind of scrolling to see if there's anybody that would that's of local name around here. But just I mean, I'm going through some of this here, and I mean Jordan Tamu, remember him, quarterback, Mississippi, doing big things out there for the Battle Hawks. They've also got Nick Fitzgerald, former quarterback for Dan Mullen at Mississippi State. Any of these names ringing a bell with you here?
Slightly.
Oh, we'll continue. I'll continue breaking it down. Big game tonight. DC weighs in. Says, where is Al Golden at now?
That's a good one. They was about, Al Golden, he's a veteran presence. He's gonna steady the locker room. They're just gonna lose.
Yeah, I mean, Harry T, is Sparky Woods still coaching? He was at North Carolina. I'm not sure exactly where he is at this point. And then a lot of you just going in with Jim Bob Cooter jokes and references not suitable for 7:15 as some parents are trying to take their kids to.
I bet you Jim Bob can fight because he had to fight a lot in the playgrounds. Like all those names that everybody's calling him, he had to face those, and it's like
I got a feeling he just went to elementary and middle as Jim Bob.
They found out his last name.
They
put it together.
That was
Jim Bob. What?
803-404-6100. Oh, don't worry, we're not done breaking down XFL. If you think, I'm just tuning in and I'm missing the XFL, we'll get more into that. It does lead us
because I believe my two teams are facing off this weekend.
Yes, the DC Vipers. I'm sorry, the Vegas Vipers and the DC Defenders.
Mm-hmm. It's the battle for Preston's heart.
There you go. So
after this game, this is my team.
Preston's got that going on this weekend. 803-404-6100. Now's a good time to do this because most people are in their cars. Probably we should give away tickets. We'll do that in the next segment, but let's do this because this started a path yesterday. The Rock. What is your best The Rock movie? Because The Rock. Do you know The Rock was able to attend all 4 games?
I did hear that.
Do you know there's a caveat to that? I heard it. This is somebody put the other day. They were like, The Rock is he works hard. He makes more awful movies than anybody I've come across in the last 20 years. I mean, just everything. It's the same concept. He's jumping from building to building to building and doing whatever it is he does. But last week there were 4. There's 8 teams in the league. You and I were debating this yesterday. There are 8 teams in the league. He attended all 4 games, Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. There's a caveat to that. Do you know what it is?
No.
3 of them were in the state of Texas: Arlington, Houston, and San Antonio.
Texas is a big state.
It's a big state.
He had to travel a lot. Still,
he's a owner of the people. What is your favorite Rock movie? The Rock movie. 803-404-6100. We'll get back.
Oh, I think I just figured out what mine is.
Okay, I look forward to that.
It was a short list, but I got mine.
Somebody came up with a rundown earlier. I think that's the one where he chases down Sean William Scott or Sean Michael Scott or Stifler.
I'm not
He
sure.
chases down Stifler, basically. It's 803-40.
The Rocket Stifler.
Okay, those are good movies. American Pie.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up
on the next Extra Point.
I think you're going to see some Bryles, run and pass game concepts. You're going to see some NFL stuff, and you're going to see tempo. And all those things, I think, are things that Shane Beamer likes and wants it to be about. We also know that having pro elements is something he's interested in. That checks that box. NFL experience. He is the hire. So now I think you have to judge him on what happens from this point forward as South Carolina's offensive coordinator, as opposed to, what happened in the past. Because
Put Preston back on the live stream here. Let's see. Y'all can, while I walk around. David was answering back to wherever you coached or whatever.
Cool. What's your son's name, David? See if I remember them. Oh, Kelly, that's when The Rock was showing his chops, huh? He was expanding his roles. Yeah, I remember Chad. Jumanji 2. Not one, Bill. 2. Jumanji 2.
No, he's not in Jumanji. He's in no. He's not in Jumanji.
We have a dispute on the Jumanji.
No, Jumanji is Robin Williams. Rock is in No, Rock is in. It's not Jumanji, is it? It's a video game that they get. It's him, Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah. No, he's in Jumanji the Next Level.
Oh, is it?
Correction, I don't know if Jumanji 2 and Jumanji The Next Level are the same movie, but he's in Jumanji The Next Level.
Or is Jumanji 2? Because I thought
Kevin Hart's in this one also. I think I know. They got trapped in a video game or something like that.
Yeah. So you have to go with the Rock movie. Put up the Rock movie. All 40 of the Rock's movies ranked. The Rock has 40 movies.
Maybe we can give what the definitive ranking is and see whether we agree or disagree.
The Scorpion King.
That was one of the early ones. Who?
Was a tough guy, only known as Driver, who, following a 10-year prison sentence, sets out to avenge his brother's murder. Oh, is Kelly's talking about Be Cool, I think. No, John Travolta, yeah.
With Travolta?
I remember that Be Cool because I liked because that's the sequel to Get Shorty, and I actually like Get Shorty.
I was gonna say was Danny DeVito in that one?
Yeah. Oh, he was in Baywatch. Come on. No, I've seen a few of the females in there. Tell them Walking Tall only checks in at number 29 in the top 40 of the Rock's all-time.
If Walking Tall was your pick, DC is number 29 on the definitive list of the Rock movies. So you have a keen eye for actually 29 is probably in the bottom fourth of it. Out of the 29 out of 40 is pretty low.
The Mummy Returns.
Man.
Gridiron Gang.
Gridiron Gang was pretty good, I have to say.
Tooth Fairy checks in at 21.
What was Gridiron Gang? 22?
Gridiron Gang was 23.
Mm-hmm.
The other guys.
That was with Will Ferrell.
This is a cameo. Johnson Masters cameo along with Samuel L. Jackson, the two hero cops whose egos take them too far while chasing suspects. They jump off.
I think he died in the first minute of the movie, or the first 10 minutes of that movie.
Yeah. San Andreas. The Rundown checks in at 15.
Don't remember that one at all.
That's the one where he runs after whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm. Runs after Stifler.
This one's supposed to be pretty good on Netflix. Red Notice.
Super fast.
Him and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, Justin Gandy in with The Rundown. So apparently that was a big one.
Rampage at 12. The Fate of the Furious. Oh, then we get into his Fast and Furious. Skyscraper. There's the one where he was
just jumping from building to building on that. Somehow I ended up watching that. Put on the poll. Is there any other way to watch the Ross movie other than somehow? Do you wind up watching the Ross movies? Do you somehow watch the Ross movies? Do you actually watch the Ross movies?
Live from the Heritage Chevrolet Studios, this is 1075 The Game.
Is there any other way to say I watched a Rock movie other than somehow I watched a movie with The Rock in it? We'll put that up in the next.
You have to figure that out. I wound up watching somehow.
Let's take caller number 3 right now, 803-404-6100, and we will give you right now a pair of tickets to South Carolina baseball Friday. Okay.
Friday at 4 against Penn.
Friday at 4. Yep, we'll just go through all of them. Friday at 4 against Penn, 803-404-6100. Caller number 3, Jen.
Okay.
Will win a pair of tickets to Friday's 4 p.m. first pitch against Penn right now. 803-404-6100 is how you can win those. And I'll tell you what, Jen, while you're doing that, let's get out to Ty on the Love Chevy phone lines, who wants to weigh in on the XFL and the Rock, because boy, did we go down a path in the on off air segment. Ty, give us some XFL hot takes.
How y'all doing? Honestly, I caught the I guess you would call it the intro or their special they had before the season start, and the way that The Rock and his ex-wife, because it's really more of a driving force of his ex-wife, who's actually the commissioner and kind of brought him aboard with this, is more of like a development league. What I mean, like, they're not trying to be NFL. They're not trying to compete. They're literally saying that we are the league for the 54th player, which, is only 53 players on the NFL team, that they're trying to, develop that. And if you look at some of the stories that's in the NFL, like Geno Smith or some of the late bloomers, I think it might be a good thing. And they're not, like I said, they're not trying to compete with the NFL. They actually present themselves as the development league that, they can be picked from to go to the NFL. So I think it has a chance. Also, The Rock do make terrible movies, but he is funny in some of them. And with Kevin Hart, I forget the one, he was the classmate with him, and then they Central Intelligence. That's what it was. That actually was a pretty good movie.
It checks in at number 4, Ty. On we have in the break we went down. By the way, Ty, Preston knows this. Ty, can you name? I don't have when this article was produced or was published. 2021. So there's been more since. As of 2021. Either starring in or being in a cameo, do you want to take a guess as to how many movies The Rock has been in?
I would say 27.
Okay, you're way off. It's 40.
He's more prolific than you think, Ty.
As of November 12th, 2021, as I'm reading the top 40 Rock movies, Central Intelligence checked in at number 4 on what is a long list of very, very bad movies.
Hold on,
What
Ty.
was above it? Some of the Fast and Furious?
Hold on a second, Ty.
Most of the Fast and the Furious made the top 10.
The most important question is, did you A, somehow watch Central Intelligence, or did you B, wind up watching Central Intelligence?
I stumbled upon it.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Yes. Regular
Stumbled
channel.
upon it.
Hey, so that's
It was hilarious, though. It was funny, though. I was surprised.
Appreciate the phone call, Ty. 803-404-6100. Yeah, Preston has brought this up. Is there any other way to describe to your coworkers the next day as, I somehow watched a Rock movie last night? Like,
I stumbled
upon a Rock movie.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit the one time, because I do this with my kids, we did sit down and watch Jungle Cruise one time, which I went back and forth on whether I thought it was a good movie or not. Like, I was kind of torn. It was kind of torn. The Fast and the Furious makes up the vast majority of his top 10.
I don't know if that's fair.
Furious 6 is at 10. Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw is at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Furious 7 checks in at 6. You got
a new movie coming out in May
which one?
for part of the Fast and Furious series.
Oh, they've got another one?
Yeah.
I've never in my life seen, and this is one like where we were in, I think, like
Been going for a
late
long
in high
time.
school. We were late in high school when the initial Fast and Furious. The fact that they've been able to John Wick is another one where there's one, I won't bring it up right now, but there's one central point to the beginning of that movie where if it doesn't happen, we don't have 3 movies. If a puppy survives the first 20 minutes of John Wick, we don't have 3 John Wicks.
There was 3 of them before I even knew there was one of them. I was like, what? There's another one?
Yeah.
How's this happening again?
The other one is how we got, like, Liam Neeson should have changed names in Taken and hid his family. How do you have your family keep being taken?
We have your daughter again.
Yeah, like the whole family. Liam Neeson spends his whole life in Taken, just running around like recovering his family. 803-40.
Oh man, that's a good one too, because he's another one of those where
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, where you just stumble upon the movie. I love Ty with the answer of stumble upon, because I was only thinking somehow or wind up, but to stumble upon a good movie is another one of life's great pleasures.
Patrick weighs in and says, yeah, stumbled upon a rock movie. I literally think that's how we all he says stumbled upon a rock movie wearing the same shirt. Well, actually, we might put that on the poll. Does The Rock wear the same shirt in every movie? There's the same shirt in every Rock movie. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning. We'll come back. We'll give you a little audio there from the baseball yesterday, as well as get back into some basketball discussion. And 803-404-6100. Have you ever sat down to watch a Rock movie?
You know what, honey? Tonight.
Or were you flipping through and it was on? Just on and you stopped because there was an explosion, or
that's it.
Some big coyote was running the streets of LA. 803-404-6100. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Thursday on the Garnet Trust Hour between 10 and 11 a.m., redshirt junior right-hander James Hicks from the Gamecocks baseball team will join Chris and Wes again. That's the Garnet Trust Hour, Thursday between 10 and 11 a.m.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. When you see the green check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
It's time to think about your tax refund. And Jackson Hewitt wants you to think biggest. As in, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund or your money back plus $100. Who offers that? Come to think of it, nobody. It's one of the biggest guarantees out there and why you can't just file with anybody. For your guaranteed biggest refund, go to Jackson Hewitt today. Your wallet will thank you. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
Plus tax entitled with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT's Jeep Ram 378 in Lexington has huge discounts on new Jeeps. Wranglers $5,000 off and other Jeeps up to $7,500 off. The lowest prices on Jeeps, we guarantee it. How about a Ram? Up to $11,000 off. You could drive for just $349 a month. And if you've had credit problems in the past, come see JT. He has the power to say yes. JT'sJeepRam.com. President's Day sales event.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit CantyCanFixIt.com. Canty can fix it.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Champion Defense Firearms Training and Sales. Committed to the highest quality education, focused on leadership, safety, innovation, and advanced skills. CWP, Basic Pistol, and Advanced Pistol classes are available. Shop online with thousands of items to choose from. Visit ChampionDefenseLLC.com. And now open the Champion Defense Shooting Complex and Sportsman Club. Located on 2040 Pine Plain Road off I-26, exit 125 in Swansea. Champion Defense Firearms Training and Sales invites you to get a membership for yourself or as a gift for family or friends. They have multiple plans to fit any budget, including individual, family, monthly plans, and more. Don't miss the Champion Defense Sweet Deal of the Week. Just log on to 1075thegame.com at 9 a.m. this Friday to get an annual family plan valued at $400, half off for just $200. Includes family household, 2-gate access cards, and 2 guests per visit. But hurry, only a limited quantity available.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. Everybody knows that we have the best selection of engagement ring styles in the Southeast, with over 1,000 styles to choose from. What amazes folks is that we also have the best prices. How do we do that? In Mine Diamonds, by working directly with site holders, the cutting companies that buy their rough diamonds directly from De Beers. And in the lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with laboratories that actually grow and cut the diamonds. No middlemen, better prices, only at Traditions Fine Jewelers.
Just text entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details.
I love Kia.
You'll love the savings on brand new Kias this month at JT's Kia. We're loaded with new Kias. Hundreds of new Kia Sorento, Soul, Rio, Fortes to choose from. Fall head over wheels with a new Kia Sorento. Drive for just $219 a month. Has your credit heart been broken? Other dealers said no, but JT can say those 3 special words. Yes, yes, yes. The cars you love at prices you'll cherish. This month at JT's Kia. Killian Commons Road, jtskia.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And looking at the traffic conditions out there this morning, just one incident to let you know about. Easy for me to say. North Springs Road at North Brickyard Road, 84 for the high today, and then it cools down a little bit tomorrow when we might see some afternoon or evening showers. High 79 tomorrow, 60 on Saturday with some showers, and then it goes back up. Cloudy and 78 on Sunday. Right now, 64. 1075 The Game.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Overall, I feel really good. I'm glad I could get those 2 innings on Friday, kind of get the feet wet, and then felt a lot more comfortable tonight having those under my belt already. So I just wanted to go out there and just pitch my game, just be relaxed. Those back-to-back walks are really gonna haunt me. Kind of felt like a bumpkin out there. So I don't really know what happened on those, but those are gonna haunt me till next week. So, but other than that, really good.
Any player that can get the term, I felt like a bumpkin out there. We should play more audio from them. James Hicks yesterday, after getting his first start since coming back off of Tommy John surgery, 5 innings pitched. First start, as you heard him mention, he did pitch 2 innings over the weekend for the Gamecocks as they dismantled UMass Lowell. But yesterday was his first start, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits given up, had the 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, faced 18 batters there. Not a bad day for him. He's a guy that could easily be a weekend starter and certainly would continue to bolster that rotation for Mark Kingston and the staff if he performs. Jerzenbeck on Tuesday was really good. Hicks, I know the competition. I get it, Preston, but Hicks, Jersenbach, you go with Hall, Mahoney, Mahoney, I believe, and then obviously Will Sanders. You've got a strong group of pitchers right now for South Carolina. Good news for Heath Klein. South Carolina baseball off today. Heath gets to do a show. You'll get to hear him. You also get to hear from James Hicks later today, right here in studio, the Garnet Trust Hour. So make sure you make appointment listening 10 to 11 a.m. This morning, Garnet Trust Hour. Preston, this weekend, maybe we learn a little bit more about South Carolina baseball. Penn is a slight step up before Clemson next weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely understood what Steve was saying earlier about the level of competition, but I'll just point out that last year, playing the same level of competition, they didn't score as many runs and they gave up more runs.
Yeah.
So regardless of who they're playing better. They're hitting the ball. They're seeing the ball clearly. They're making plays. They're not doing any of the unforced errors that they were making a lot last year. So I still think it's very positive how the team has started off.
So we'll continue to watch that. No game today. There is basketball tonight. Women's basketball at Tennessee should be a good one. 6:30 pregame tip right on. You got Carolina calls. Let me go back and repeat this. Carolina calls with Lamont Paris tonight at 6 o'clock. Right here on 107.5 The Game. The pregame show for the women's game will take place at 6:30 WISW, and then at 7 p.m. tonight you can hear the women's team at Tennessee right here on 107.5 The Game, and I believe that game on ESPN as well. So another primetime game there for Dawn Staley and the women. The other thing tonight, after you watch that, Preston, you can get into some XFL. We've got the Seattle Sea Dragons hosting the St. Louis Battlehawks. Late start time out in Seattle, 9 o'clock, FX. You can try and make it through the first 15 minutes, but we've been cutting up, and I've got to get to a lot of these text messages because they're good. Number one, a lot of it is on the Rock, the owner of the XFL. So we've had to throw out there just the best Rock movies. Anonymous texter going with Jungle Cruise, Ray going with Game Plan. Another anonymous texter going with Easy. Did he say this was easy? He just said Walking Tall.
He said easy,
as if there was no question whatsoever. We had, oops, I just completely blocked somebody's profile. Now I got to go back and try and undo that. There we go. Now we got it fixed. Let's see, Jumanji reboot. Ronnie weighing in to go with Faster, which was another one we'd never heard of. I believe.
How could we forget that one?
Central Intelligence. We've got another one that says favorite Rock movie, The Other Guys. And then he says, so I don't have to watch him act for more than 5 minutes. Michael went with doesn't get any better than Gridiron Gang.
Now, I'm going to tell you, you talk about tearjerker, boy, that was a rough one.
Okay.
I did not expect it. It came out of nowhere.
Walking Tall, and my kid's favorite is Jungle Cruise from James. And then you come up to some more of these that I had to I had to start laughing at. Anonymous texter. I stumbled upon the rundown and wondered how much money had to be paid to Christopher Walken to be on the silver screen with Rock and Stifler. Another texter says The Rock and Walking Tall wasn't terrible. Carlos says, I stumbled upon Cold Pursuit.
See?
I can't front. It was good. 803-404-6100 if you want to continue to weigh in on these this morning.
Give the poll question.
I'll give that. Yeah, let me get that today. Terry does weigh in on a basketball thing. He says, I like what I see from Lamont Paris, and as the season has gone on, the team is starting to play better and better. Need to give the man time to turn the program back around.
Yeah, I agree with that. And as I said earlier, I think the mark of a coach is when it's great to be on top, but when you can pull your team through the tough times and you can see them still continuing to go out there and play, I think that is a really important marker for a team and its culture.
Yeah, we'll continue talking about that more as we come along. Kerry Tharp coming up in about an hour for some Corley Pools Solutions NASCAR Pick'em contest. Yes, we now have a poll question now. We had to go for The Rock because I do actually start to think about. Now, I will admit there's two instances. I did sit down with the kids and watch Jungle Cruise. Okay, it was a kids movie. We like to do our movie nights. That was a good one, and we also did that with Moana. Yeah, you can tell how much I paid attention. So we've got a poll question out there. Is there any other way to describe how you watched a movie The Rock starred in as I stumbled across or I somehow watched a Rock movie last night? You can go to my Twitter account at Will, W-I-L Gunter, G-U-N-T-E-R, if you want to weigh in on that. We got a lot going this morning. We'll come back. We'll get back into a few other things we've got going on. I do want to get a little bit more back. Something we brought up with Heath yesterday, the NBA All-Star Game and load management. And I actually want to ask a question. With All-Star games the way they are now, the Pro Bowl is pretty much gone essentially. But if you had to go to a game and you had to pay $100, would you go to an All-Star game today? I guess maybe Major League Baseball, but even then, I'm not sure if people are into it like they used to be. Would you pay money to go to an a professional All-Star sporting event these days with the way they are? 803-404-6100. We'll throw that out there as well. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Mega Millions jackpot for Friday is $126 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds in a store near you.
Life matters. Most folks who knew him considered him a failure. His small business failed, and he was defeated handily in his first political campaign. He opened another business and failed again. Within 3 years, he experienced a nervous breakdown. 2 more attempts to win political office, 2 more defeats. Not to be deterred, he ran for Congress, the Senate, and for Vice President of the United States. He lost all 3 of those campaigns, tried one more time for the Senate and lost that one too. Most sane people would have given up by now, but our friend ran for office one more time, and Abraham Lincoln was finally elected President of the United States in 1860. Keep plugging away. Sooner or later, the spotlight will hit you. When it does, be dancing. Life favors the persistent. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Just text entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details.
I love Kia.
You'll love the savings on brand new Kias this month at JT's Kia. We're loaded with new Kias. Hundreds of new Kia Sorento, Soul, Rio, Fortes to choose from. Fall head over wheels with a new Kia Sorento. Drive for just $219 a month. Has your credit heart been broken? Other dealers said no, but JT can say those 3 special words. Yes, yes, yes. The cars you love at prices you'll cherish. This month at JT's Kia. Killian Commons Road, jtskia.com.
With Spectrum Mobile and the epic new Samsung Galaxy S23 series, you get the fastest Samsung phone delivering even faster speeds with Spectrum Speed Boost. Trade in with Spectrum and get $600 off the new Samsung Galaxy S23 series, plus the value of your trade-in. Visit a Spectrum store or spectrum.com/Samsung for details. Service not available in all areas. Internet required. Advanced Wi-Fi and compatible equipment required. Restrictions apply.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worrying. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Washington led the revolution. Lincoln saved the nation. Now, Galliana Chrysler Jeep is making history with double the customer cash rebate. Gotta go to Galliana. Double the customer cash rebate at Galliana Chrysler Jeep. And exclusive of that offer, lease a 2022 Jeep Compass with 0 down, just $379 per month. Or finance a new Jeep Compass at 2.9 APR for 60 months. Plus, get $5,000 off. Lease a new Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, or Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid and get $10,000 off. New Chrysler and Jeeps with zip, 0, nothing down, and 0 payments for the next 3 months. Or double the customer cash rebate. President's Day sales event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Compass stock number 29165. 42-month lease, 0 down, plus tax and tag due at signing. Includes $225 closing fee, no security deposit. $1,792 per thousand borrowed for 60 months at 2.9 APR with 0 down. Subject to lender approval. Offers to combine expires with that.
Business owners, this is South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler. The Garnet Trust is connecting businesses like yours with athletes like me through NIL deals. Head over to garnettrust.com or 1075thegame.com to find out you can leverage the power of an athlete endorsement to grow your business.
Get the right care at the right place. Visit Lexington Medical Center's convenient urgent care centers for minor illnesses and injuries, and use our emergency room for emergencies. Go to lexmed.com/care now to know where to go for the care you need now.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Do have a disabled vehicle I-20 eastbound at Wilson Boulevard. Also, still working an accident North Springs Road at North Brickyard Road. Jessamine Road at Augusta Highway. We do have an accident there, as well as Polo Road at Miles Road. Looking for a beautiful high today. Could be record-breaking. 84 is what we're looking for today. Might see some rain coming in later tomorrow night. And 79 for the high. 64 right now at 1075 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
Coming up in an hour, the Corley Pool Solutions NASCAR picks of the week. Ugh. Reggie picked a winner, so he's in first place. Preston was right there, really, quite frankly, if they'd have pushed the buttons sooner, Preston would be in first place with Joey Logano. Kerry Tharp had Kyle Busch.
No, I had Kyle Busch.
Oh, Kerry had Ryan Blaney, who edged ahead of Denny Hamlin there at the very end. I had Denny Hamlin and Jen is in last place. So according to what we did, correct me if I'm wrong on this, on the Corley Pool Solutions NASCAR picks of the week, you will pick first. I will pick second. Kerry will pick third. Preston will pick fourth. And Reggie, who does this, that's nothing new to him. He picked every time last time, so nothing new to him. But yeah. So, all right. So we'll do that coming up in about an hour. Let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Shep wants to weigh in this morning. Shep, how you doing? What's on your mind this morning?
Bill, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Preston. Good morning, Jen. Listen, fantastic basketball game last night. If we don't know it now, Lamont Paris is looking like he's a heck of a coach, because there's nothing in me that said we weren't going to get beat by 30 at best case last night. They had just beat Georgia by 40 or 50 points. They clearly, one of the probably the deepest team in the SEC. They got the best freshmen in the country. They're playing outstanding basketball. But when you get a three from the frat boy, when Davis throws in a three in the first and the second half, things were looking good. You get the half court shot by Michi, and who didn't think I think 50% of the people thought somehow we were going to make that shot at the end to win the game. It was an incredible effort by the kids. There's no such thing as moral victories, but in a year that's seen us get blown out by 40, not more than one time, it was fun to watch those guys last night. I'm a fan now. I'm a believer in whatever we can do. And by the way, there's a difference in a 20-year-old freshman, and Miller played his butt off despite having incredible pressure on his shoulders. I don't know what's going on in his world, but it can't be good right now with that shooting and all that. But he's an incredible player. But despite his play, Carolina had a chance, and all the kids, everybody that played had an integral part. It was fun to watch, and I think our future is a lot brighter than we all think. And by the way, don't ever knock on the rock. When you can wear a pink tutu They give you the rock eyebrows. That's pretty good. Y'all are forgetting about the Tooth Fairy,
Tooth
the
Fairy.
greatest movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
y'all have a fantastic day. But it was a great, man. It was great. Lamont just coached his tail off. We kept getting to the rim. We were playing about as well as we could. You know, you had the big 7-footer back there. Heck, he was as much of a problem as Miller was. Miller was going to get his, but we shut everybody else down for the most part, I thought. And then, like I say, you're getting bonus shots from other folks. It was fun to watch. Anyway, y'all have a fantastic day.
You too, Shep. Appreciate the phone call. One thing I'll say, you know, I think Lamont's doing a very good job, and I'm interested to see year 2, Preston. I'm not sure that, like, those saying, well, I thought we were going to get beat by 30. We took him to overtime. He's definitely the guy for the job. Like, expectation shouldn't be taken that far down the pipe, right? South Carolina's not an awful basketball. Michi Johnson was a very highly thought of recruit. Gigi Jackson obviously is the highest one to sign. Let's not act like this is a program made up of the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, I mean, they had a chance to be, though. There was points in this season where it could have gone.
It could have gone south.
It could have gone south, and I think that's the focus of, if you wanted to hang your hat on the job that Coach Paris has done to this point, is that it didn't go as bad as it could have went.
Still 3 games left, but with that being said, certainly last night they have played better. They have played much better than we saw in Charleston and we saw up in D.C. against George Washington.
And even as you said, there's still some very correctable things that don't have anything to do with talent. They can be more aggressive. They can play better defense with their feet instead of reaching. There's a lot of things that are still correctable for this team. So there's still space for error.
They'll have to continue to improve through the transfer portal in the offseason. You know that they lose Hayden Brown. And Hayden goes, and you wish you had more time with him, because I think he would truly be a fan favorite and a very remembered Gamecock for the way he plays. But he will be gone. Gigi will be gone. We'll talk more about that and get back into that all-star discussion. Some of you still waiting on the Rock. We'll do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia, your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game, a Cumulus media station.
Was text and title approved. Credit call 888-411-7640 for details. Do you want a truck? JT's got them at JT's Dodgeland. South Carolina's truck giant is loaded with Rams. New 2022 Bighorn Ram up to $11,000 off. Drive for just $349 a month. New Chargers and Challengers save $5,000 below MSRP. Credit concerns? Other dealers don't have the power of South Carolina's truck giant. JT is the man who says yes. Dodgeland on Greystone, jtsdodge.com. President's Day
Hey,
sales
South
event.
Carolina, Scott here from Traditions with good news if you're in the market for an engagement ring or for diamond jewelry, because we have the largest selection you'll see anywhere in the Southeast. And whether you're in the market for a traditional mined diamond or for one of these amazing new lab-grown diamonds, we've got you covered. Because whether you're buying mined or lab, you'll be happy to know that at Traditions, we guarantee the trade-in value of both kinds of diamonds at our store. So if the day comes where you want an even bigger diamond, we'll be happy to give you full value you paid for your original when you trade it in. Even better, we have over 1,000 diamond rings in stock, so you'll get to try on pretty much every style imaginable. And if you still don't see exactly the right design, we'll be glad to custom make it for you. And yes, we have interest-free financing for qualified buyers. So come see us and get the ring of your dreams with a diamond of your choice, only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, South Carolina's diamond superstore and customization destination on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list, because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad.
Doco Rib Fest is coming to Doco Meadows Park March 10th and 11th in Blythewood. Music, food, fun, and 10,000 pounds of ribs and cook-off competition. Friday evening movie night and music by Too Much Sylvia. Saturday's music is Joseph Grayson Band, Common Time Bluegrass Band, Blues Deluxe, Wrong Side of the Tracks, and Tokyo Joe. Free admission and park and shuttle service. For tickets and more info, visit DocoRibFest.com. Presented by the town of Blythewood, Chamber of Commerce, Room Heating and Air,
and Doco Smoke.
Bajan Outdoor Living is the Midland source for concrete coatings, especially their garage floor coatings. They can get rid of your old, ugly, bare-stained, or cracked garage floor and give you a showroom-ready space with their flake floor system, backed by a lifetime warranty. You heard it. Your garage floor finish comes with a lifetime warranty. Do it right the first time with Bajan Outdoor Living. Go online to BajanOutdoorLiving.com. That's BHAAN and get a free estimate.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the power of love Chevrolet, Tahoe, Silverado, Suburban, Colorado. If your dreams for the new year include cruising around town in your brand new Chevy, look no further than South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Love Chevy, I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
With Bill Gunter and Jen Jensen.
You will not see me watching anything that's really scary or might make me cry, because I figure there's nothing in life that can make me cry. So I'm more of the Tommy Boy, Austin Powers, like if it's that kind of silly, dumb.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Shawshank is uplifting at the end, but it takes you through it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to get that emotion. I have the emotional roller coaster working with Bill in the mornings. So yeah, I need a release.
3 days in, you see where this program's going.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Game plan. Is it game plan? That's the uplifting rock movie, right, Preston? That's the one where he gets the I think he's adopting the daughter.
Oh yeah, that was that. Yes.
Tooth Fairy also would be very close if you had. I was
in the
listening.
Same genre.
You breaking down Shawshank Redemption being uplifting at the end, which I guess it is, but I was trying to go. Yeah, the game plan says marking. This was number 31 on the all-time top 40.
Bottom fourth.
Yeah, marking the final time. This is actually important. Marking the final time Johnson would include his WWE ring name, The Rock, in movie credits. This stale Disney movie was another attempt by Johnson to get families to trust him with their kids. It shows him going in the right direction, though, but he's not there yet.
Not there yet. So it's in progression towards where he was going.
Yeah, progression. Yes. I've seen Walking Tall. I don't think I would. I mean, I get it, but I would not say that was uplifting.
Nobody's mentioned my favorite rock movie yet.
Moana?
No.
Well,
I miss Moana. My daughter's 3, so that came out before I was really deep into the Disney game. So
what is the all-time favorite?
Pain and Gain.
I saw that one.
It was The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Mackie. They were a bunch
number five.
There we see. There were a bunch of meatheads lifting weights.
Says Johnson is number 5 in the top 40 rock movie. Johnson is really unbelievable in this movie, starring alongside Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Mackie as bodybuilders who get caught up in an extortion and kidnapping scheme. There you go. He is
that's my one.
Born loose cannon Paul Doyle.
Says they were wearing like those. They were all dressed in like 80s bodybuilder costumes.
I'm looking at it. It's got a picture of him wearing the Nike like super tight.
Yep.
He's carrying a skateboard apparently. That says the performance director Michael Bay gets out of Johnson as one of his best ever.
There we go.
And Justin weighs in and says, I'm hoping he was talking about Pain and Gain and not Tooth Fairy, because he says that was actually a true story.
Yeah. It is a true story. The true story is even wilder than the movie.
Yeah. 803-404-6100. You can continue to weigh in with because several of you are doing, but The Rock has put out Dwayne Johnson, or whatever we want to call him now. He doesn't lack for options. I'm starting to realize it might be tough in the coming years, especially as he kind of gets out of this and kind of really goes in, because he's in his 50s. He's in his early 50s now. At some point, he's going to slow down. He's going to stop making a bunch of awful movies and running football leagues and doing whatever else it is The Rock does these days. But at some point, he's going to just go into syndication, right? And all these movies are going to be on TBS and TNT like on your weekend, and you won't be able to stumble into him. It will just be part of your viewing experience.
They'll be there. They'll just be around. He's almost there right now.
Yeah, there you go. So we will continue that. That actually, the Rock discussion jumped off of a more entertaining discussion that tonight you do have some football. All right, it's the XFL. I kid you not. Like I'm going to give this a shot tonight. I brought this up. Let's do this conversation for a second. I brought this up last week, going into the XFL, coming off of the Super Bowl, because I am serious about what I'm about to bring up. We Americans are supposed to love football. That's what we gravitate to. The majority, we've talked basketball and baseball this morning. We've not talked South Carolina football. I do have actually a cut list that has Shane Beamer on it talking, but we're supposed to we can't get enough, right? We can't get enough football. Football. Play it 7 days, 300. Play it 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I need football. Bowl games, exhibition games, preseason games, spring games. I need football, right? That's all we need. And yet, it doesn't feel like the XFL and the USFL will ever be able to take off. And why is that? Is it because, as we kind of brought it, is it because you don't buy into the logos? You don't buy into the tradition? The big names aren't there? Or is it because we do get football fatigue after the Super Bowl and we need to step away from our first love, from the game of football? Do we as fans need to step away? You mentioned it as something that fascinates you, that basketball players, NBA players, during the summer, they're going to these summer leagues. They're playing. They'll randomly show up at a gym. They'll just come play with you. They'll hang out. Football guys are like, I'm going to Maui. I'm like, I'm going to Cabo. I'm out of here. And I get it, physical, violent sport. But as fans, do we need a football breather?
We need a vacation. We need a vacation from football. It's too taxing. It's every weekend. The highs, the lows, the yelling, the violence, the screaming. It's amazing. We love it. But we need a break.
Do we?
We need a break. There's that phrase, there's too much of a good thing. Sometimes you need to get away from something so that you can miss it a little bit.
Christmas.
There you go.
Christmas decorations and such. I seriously could probably keep my tree up all year long because I love it, but you don't appreciate it as much, maybe. No, that's a true story.
No, I'm laughing because I wasn't sure where you would go. I didn't know if you just decided to chime in, and then I see where you're going. But so you're I tried this lazy grandson here for a second. Lazy grandson story. My grandmother has a fake tree or whatever that we put it up and down. It goes in the attic, and her stairs into her attic. It's one of the 7 deadly traps on the world. It's very questionable going up and out. So last year I tried to convince her and sell her own. I think what we discussed at one time is just the yearly Christmas tree where you decorate it for each.
We did that for my mom. We had a little 4-foot tree that was in the family room where she spent a lot of time.
So I did actually, by the way,
Valentine's Day.
If you hear what I just admitted I was lazy, but my grandmother didn't fall for this plan, so I did take the tree up. Jen just openly admitted that they were too lazy to take the tree down. So yeah, as she just said, you can have a Valentine's tree, you can have a St. Patrick's tree,
you have an Easter tree.
Yeah, but see, you're still changing. You're not.
Yeah, you're not just leaving it up to get dusty. You're right. Actually changing out the decor. It's actually very cute.
Right, but what I'm saying is the XFL is offering us lesser versions of the thing that we love.
Yes.
So it just has to just go away.
Yeah. It's still not a change.
Yeah.
Like on this little tree, you're doing different holidays. That's changing things.
Exactly. Y'all are still trying to run. You're still trying to run out Ron Zook and AJ McCarron. Hey, listen, I love you guys. It's time for a break.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say, you mentioned the XFL has some different rules. You can go for it. Instead of an onside kick, you can do the 4th and 15 play,
which is silly.
Really?
Yeah, they should make it 4th and. I'm a defensive guy. They should make it at least 4th and 20. 4th and 15. That
should be 4th and 20, and the quarterback has to play with one arm tied behind his back. And no shoulder pads on that play.
Tell me more.
I'm going to watch this tonight. I'm going to get into it. All right, let me take that back. I'm going to watch it tonight. Now, again, we mentioned this. We've got the Seattle Sea Dragons tonight, and I believe it was the Sea Dragons who have the phenomenal roster of coaches that features Jim Haslett, a former NFL coach, June Jones, Ron Zook. I'm excited to see this. I mean, I'm pretty sure Josh Gordon is playing for the Sea Dragons out there. I've got to pull back up their roster, but I am always interested in this because it comes on the XFL started 1 week after the Super Bowl, and it's just the general concept because the Monday after Super Bowl, you get all the memes, you go on Twitter, and people are like, "Oh, we're without football for 7 more months." Like, "Oh, I'm so sad. I don't know what to do with my life." And you're like, "Well, technically, there's the XFL over there. Are we just not into that, or are we just so focused on our NFL college that, as Steve says from Blythewood, it just flat depends on who's playing? Then I'm invested."
No.
If I'm dead serious, what I'm asking you, because I brought this up back during COVID, if FBS or a lower level HBCUs, if they played a spring football league, or spring football season, if the FBS played a spring football season, and every Saturday in this state, you can go to Wofford, you can go to Furman, you can go to the Citadel if you want to go. Yeah, you get the point. If you want to go, would the FBS have some level of popularity if they played, instead of playing in the fall, they played in the spring? And ESPN, who's always looking for content, jumped in.
No, I don't want it.
It's just a thought.
Everything has a season, Bill.
Okay.
Football is good in August when it's scorching hot. Then when the grass starts to turn in October, it feels a little bit better. Then the clocks change and it gets darker earlier. And there's dew. All of that stuff is part of why we love football. I don't want to play football while the flowers are blooming. It's not the same thing. This is baseball season. This is the time for baseball.
Yes. I
Leave
agree.
the seasons where they are. We're trying to mess
the seasons are staying where they are.
Well, that's another question, but because it's 80 degrees outside in February. But we're trying to mess with our sports calendar. Leave it what it is. Let it be.
You just do away with all this.
Anything extra, get it out of here.
Steve just gives you a true Preston. Let's go through some of these text messages. Try and keep up with where exactly we're at in this show. Rooster P weighs in. The Rock is like Stallone. Keeps on giving. I actually like Tulsa King.
Tulsa King. Yeah, if you didn't know, Stallone's back.
Iceman weighs in. Come on, guys. Gridiron Gang has to be one of his best.
Tough one. I'm telling you, that's a tearjerker.
Tony and Gilbert says the same thing. Says not football weather.
There it is. I can't be wiping my nose from my pollen, my sinuses messing up at the same time I'm trying to watch a 3rd and 15. It's not the same thing.
Steve-O on the Firehouse Subs text line. I think the alternate leagues would fare better in the summer, July or August, when we're all longing for football. I can kind of get on board with that.
No, you got to long a little bit longer.
See, I get into Canadian League football. Robert weighs in. I enjoyed San Andreas. Entertaining movie. We're covering all topics this morning. Anonymous texter who's never texted in before says, "Good morning. Have you guys mentioned anything about a fight in the stands last night? We've heard about it. We know nothing. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, we don't know anything.
I literally know. I saw it on television like anybody else watching on television, but I know nothing, absolutely nothing about it." Matt in West Columbia, just Jumanji. Jumanji, a very popular one. Yep.
The next level, though, because we figured out there was another Jumanji.
Desmond weighing in. Red Notice was good. That's on Netflix. A lot of people have talked about that.
Okay.
So we've got that out there.
Here's what we're actually finding something out. The Rock is really good. This is what we're finding out. In our quest to make fun of The Rock.
I don't know. By the way, somebody hit me up and was like, "What do you hate on The Rock?" I actually loved Ballers. Like, I really did like Ballers.
Ballers was funny.
For some reason, I really got into that. Like, I guess because I felt like it was an actual real glimpse into the world that we don't see of professional football players, especially in Miami of all places. Like the professional lifestyle in Miami is entirely different than, say, in Green Bay, right? Like what you're doing in Miami is far different as a professional athlete. Like Monday through Sunday, even if you have to go to the complex and work out and go through, what you're doing in Miami is far different Monday through Sunday than what you're doing in Green Bay Monday through Sunday.
Yeah, that's a different draw that you get, man. Yeah. Shout out to JJ and Ubari, who got drafted to Green Bay, and that's a rough draw.
803-404-6100. Let's get through it good. We're covered. On this program, as you're learning,
we have a lot going on.
We cover a lot. Wesley weighs in, says, when I was single one time, I left my tree up for 7 years. Just plug it up day after Thanksgiving. Work smarter, not harder. I would like to know how that conversation went when he brought a date over. And because women, I think, would notice that, like, if you left your tree up. Also, I'm going to assume it's a fake tree. It was a fake tree that he left up for 7 years.
I'm sure hoping, because otherwise that was just kindling at that point.
Yeah. I would kind of be interested to hear the backstory on a date showing up like in August and being like, oh, okay, got your tree up, huh? Yeah, big fan. Ready. It's football season's around the corner. Christmas, Thanksgiving, all ready to go. 803-404-6100. If FCS played in the spring, where would all the big paydays come without games against FBS teams? I'm not sure those are going to continue. It's a whole other topic.
That's a different topic, and that will probably change. But they need to have their time in the fall.
Okay.
The leaves are falling.
Okay, I'm with you.
If we played football in the spring, then the Japanese maples wouldn't be garnet. It's not the same. It's not the same.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, those are the trees in Gamecock Park.
Oh,
they're beautiful.
Okay,
wonderful.
Yeah, they are beautiful. Yeah, beautiful trees.
Foliage.
Yeah, foliage. John, anyone mention his role in Be Cool? Sneaky, unbelievable movie. We've got a couple of those this morning. Chris says Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, actually has a lot of heart and is good fun. The Rock is a pretty bankable star, frankly.
See, I'm telling you, we started on a quest to make fun of The Rock.
Well, I wasn't making fun of him. I was.
But what we're finding out is that Rock has a wide variety of solidly enjoyable movies.
Drew, joining you, says Pain and Gain was a great movie. Anonymous texter going with Central Intelligence. And then, again, we're all over the map, as you can tell. Another anonymous texter says, I think if they put the MAC during the summertime, it would be a hit. Most people love the Tuesday night MACtion games.
But it's Tuesday night during football season. It's all about the appetite, man. It's like foods. We eat certain foods in certain times of the year, right? We had soup season. You have chili season, which we're coming out of. I don't want to eat chili in the summertime. That summertimes are for hot dogs and different types of foods. Give me seasonality. Give me to everything. There is a season.
As you can see, we've got Rock movies. We've got seasonal time for football, South Carolina basketball and baseball last night. Kind of lost track of where we're going with the program. I know Kerry Tharp comes up in about 25 minutes.
We're going to get there.
We'll get there. Literally anything you want to weigh in on this
We got
morning.
a couple of different ways that you can participate. Please join in.
And I will get back to our poll question as well that is out there. Is there any other way to describe how you watched a movie The Rock starred in as other than I stumbled across or I somehow watched a Rock movie last night? Currently, poll results for that, 56% saying no, there's no other way. 44% saying yes, they can do that. 803-404-6100 is the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The Halftime Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford.
I remember sending off Dave to join the KISS Army when I was in like the second grade. Is that about the same thing?
Similar, very similar, except you can do it online. Kinsiders.
Kinsiders.
They're sisters. They have VIPs, before, and you get to meet them, and they sign your stuff and all that, and you get to hang with them and, talk to everybody in the band.
They shook Dave's hand. He hasn't washed his hands since.
I pull my shirt down, give him a Sharpie. Here, sign my chest.
sign my chest.
All right. See, this is my fault. I usually want to blame other people for things. This is my fault.
Noon to 3.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with CBS Sports Minute. Inevitably, the NFL and Netflix had to become economic bedfellows. This summer, the streaming giant will present a new docuseries, Quarterback, that focuses on Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. Mahomes' new production company will produce the series with help from, who else? Peyton Manning, because apparently Roger Goodell won't do anything without him. Good for him, I guess. Boomer Science.
CBS Sports Radio.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text JUDGE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text JUDGE to 321-321. That's JUDGE to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Sponsored by Brakes for Less.
Brakes for Less is what we do. We know drums, rotors, pads, and shoes. It doesn't matter what kind of car you got. Call 888-261-STOP. All we do are Brakes for Less.
Text entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details.
I love Kia.
You'll love the savings on brand new Kias this month at JT's Kia. We're loaded with new Kias. Hundreds of new Kia Sorento, Soul, Rio, Fortes to choose from. Fall head over wheels with a new Kia Sorento. Drive for just $219 a month. Has your credit heart been broken? Other dealers said no, but JT can say those three special words. Yes, yes, yes. The cars you love at prices you'll cherish. This month at JT's Kia. Killian Commons Road, jtskia.com.
At Kroger, you'll find high-quality products at great prices in every aisle every day with Kroger brand. When you stock up on your household favorites for lower-than-low prices, it feels like winning. Shop now in-store or online. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save more and earn rewards too. Use your digital coupons up to 5 times, plus earn double gaming rewards points on participating items. Restrictions apply.
This basketball season and every basketball season, come to campus and catch a game. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game. Find your tickets online at GamecocksOnline.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Castrol Edge can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's time to contact AAA Heating and Air and tell them Bill Gunner sent you. That's right. 803-677-1500. If you're in need of repairs or maintenance to your heating and air system, contact AAA Heating and Air today. Again, 803-677-1500. You know you are putting comfort in your own hands with qualified technicians from AAA Heating and Air. So don't wait any longer. Contact them today. 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Was text entitled with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. Do you want a truck? JT's got them at JT's Dodgeland. South Carolina's truck giant is loaded with Rams. New 2022 Bighorn Ram up to $11,000 off. Drive for just $349 a month. New Chargers and Challengers save $5,000 below MSRP. Credit concerns? Other dealers don't have the power of South Carolina's truck giant. JT is the man who says yes. Dodgeland on Greystone, jtsdodge.com. President's Day sales event.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Leesburg Road near Fairmont Drive, we have a report of a tie-up there. Also, Clemson Road at Hardscrabble Road, you find an accident. Jessamine Road at Augusta Highway, that is still in the cleanup stages. And one more accident to let you know about, and that's Polo Road at Miles Road. Could see record-breaking heat today, looking for a high of about 85. And tomorrow, 79 with some showers rolling in later in the afternoon and evening. It's pretty decent right now, though. 66 right at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Eight zero 404-6100. Got one more pair of tickets to give away for Sunday's baseball game. Let's go ahead and do that now. Caller number 3 can weigh in. And 803
first pitch.
What'd you say?
1:30.
1:30 first pitch. Yeah, 1:30
Tip
first
time,
pitch.
whatever,
No, you're right. You're right. 1:30 first pitch. 803-404-6100. Caller number 3 will win a pair of tickets to Sunday's contest over at Founders Park. We've covered a wide variety of topics. Obviously, spent a lot of time this morning talking about South Carolina and Alabama and last night's basketball game. Look, I mean, they're playing better, Preston. They're playing a lot better, but it still doesn't kind of, to me, we talked about it, it's all about next season. It's now all about next season. You're going to lose Hayden Brown. You're going to lose G.G. Jackson. So what are you taking away from these final few games that has that foundation in place for year number 2? At least last night, what I took away is that I think Michie Johnson and Jacoby Wright can be a solid backcourt, and Josh Gray continues to improve.
Yeah, for sure. But in this world of constantly rotating rosters, transfer portal, et cetera, I think what we can definitely take away is that we're learning who Lamont Paris is as a coach. He's the constant. He'll be here next year, and you can see him building his culture, his program towards what will be coming in towards the team. So Michie will get better. Josh Gray will get better. There'll be players that'll make improvements essentially, but we've kind of, as a fan base, at least for me, being able to see who Coach Paris is throughout the seasons, the ups and downs, the near wins, the blowouts, etc. To me, that's what's been most illuminating about this year.
One of the I meant to mention with that too, I like the foundation again. Michie and Jacoby Wright. Jacoby Wright's really come along in the last several weeks, and Zachary Davis is a kid that I kind of like being able to maybe get stronger in the weight program with Scott Greenwald to give you another good defender. He's long. Last night, you talk about Gigi playing 42 minutes and grabbing 3 rebounds. Zachary Davis played 25 minutes last night and grabbed 5 rebounds. He's a guy who's going to be kind of versatile in that he's not going to be, I think, a legitimate power forward. I think he's actually going to be more slated to be more in the 2 to 3, kind of the shooting guard, combo guard range. But you're going to have some pieces there with him, with Michie, with Jacoby Wright. Colin Murray-Boyles is coming in, who I like a lot. And again, you've got Daniel Hankins-Sanford, who didn't play, and Josh Gray. After that, it's going to be in the transfer portal that you continue to build this. And that's where it gets interesting because you set your foundation. You set your foundation with these guys, and now you've got to go find guys in the transfer portal that fit that foundation.
That's the key. Once you have an identity, now you can go out and find guys who fit your identity instead of just shopping for random things. I guess my analogy would be the grocery store. And it always comes back to food with me. But if you have an idea of what you want, what the meal you're going to prepare, you can go in the grocery store and get that, and you can bring it home. If you just walk in the grocery store without a list, you just pick up random items, and then you come home and you don't even have anything. And I think that's kind of what Lamont and staff did last year. Granted, it was a different situation and circumstances, but this year I think they have a better idea of what they want to accomplish, and now they can go and have a purpose when they actually get into the transfer portal.
803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. Robbie does so on the Firehouse Subs text line. Says, I totally agree with Preston. I've watched the game last night and was really impressed with how far Coach Lamont has come since the beginning of the season as far as the production from his team. Real quick.
And as you finish that, also realize this is Coach Paris's first year.
I was going to ask you how much you've seen coaches grow over a year learning. I don't know if there was, I'm not asking you to name names, but if there was one particular coach you saw that like really changed maybe his approach, his style, how he related to players, how he coached in games as he kind of adjusted in a 1 year period.
I'll give a great example of that. My senior year, my defensive line coach was Jappy Oliver.
Okay.
And Jappy came from Air Force. He had been at some other places, been in Notre Dame, I think, but his most longest stop was at Air Force. And I remember him basically saying, because I was a senior, I was a little bit older at the time, he said he had to adjust to what it was like coaching in the SEC. There were different type of players, different attitudes, different dispositions amongst the players. SEC players were clearly not the same dudes he was coaching at Air Force, and he had to make that adjustment throughout the year. And I think a lot of coaches go through that and figure that out. You know, Lamar Paris has been around some great basketball, but maybe he hasn't been around a guy like G.G. Jackson, somebody that quite talented or that heralded. So, yeah, it's worth noting that coaches are learning also while they're on the job. And I think there is development that happens with coaches as they continue to get better as the season goes along.
803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll get back into some of these other text messages. Plenty.
Oh, thank y'all for bringing them in. Y'all are making this.
Bun weighing in on The Rock, says he plays the same character in every movie.
Correct.
Skills writes in and says the rundown was enjoyable. Walken and Stifler from American Pie in regards to spring football. ESPN's 30 for 30 on the USFL. I think it was called Small Potatoes. Was really well done. So he likes
I'll check that out.
So just another one there. 803-404-6100. And then Richard weighing in on earlier. We asked about coaches that we can't believe continue to get another job. Josh Gordon was his guy. He does not like Josh Gordon at all. There you go. So
yeah.
And then Jordan weighed in.
Josh has issues for sure, but we know why Josh continues to play because he's good.
Good. And then Jordan weighs in and says, if there wasn't an offseason, would never watch any of these movies. So we got that as well. That's how you catch up on movies.
See, The Rock is squeezing his own market because
put him out.
Putting out football while we could be watching his movies.
There you go.
Exactly.
He's very smart. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Carolina calls with USC men's hoops coach Lamont Paris. Thursday at 6 p.m.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Hey, this is Ray.
And Mary Ann with Absolute Glass.
We've been blessed to serve the Midlands glass needs for 20 years.
We have been fortunate enough to help thousands of customers with the best glass service in town and our store and all over the Midlands.
Sure, we can fix your windshield, usually at no cost to you.
But at Absolute Glass, we can also care for all your other glass needs too.
Home windows, shower doors, tabletops, shelving, storefronts, and all your commercial needs.
Contact us at 803-951-7200 or at absoluteglassinc.com.
Just remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Hey, why not try something extreme and exciting this year, like Extreme Pogo? Woohoo! Going for the backflip! Or maybe something really adventuresome, like wingsuit flying. Tree! Or maybe just try eating extremely good pizza from the Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers. Hand-tossed, spring water dough, fresh ingredients, all baked on the stone. Now that's exciting and extremely delicious. The Mellow Mushroom in the Vista and on Sunset in Lexington.
Hey, South Carolina, Scott here from Traditions with good news if you're in the market for an engagement ring or for diamond jewelry, because we have the largest selection you'll see anywhere in the Southeast. And whether you're in the market for a traditional mine diamond or for one of these amazing new lab-grown diamonds, we've got you covered. Because whether you're buying mined or lab, you'll be happy to know that at Traditions, we guarantee the trade-in value of both kinds of diamonds at our store. So if the day comes where you want an even bigger diamond, we'll be happy to give you full value you paid for your original when you trade it in. Even better, we have over 1,000 diamond rings in stock, so you'll get to try on pretty much every style imaginable. And if you still don't see exactly the right design, we'll be glad to custom make it for you. And yes, we have interest-free financing for qualified buyers. So come see us and get the ring of your dreams with a diamond of your choice, only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, South Carolina's diamond superstore and customization destination on Sunset in Lexington and at the Fountain in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Love is in the air.
It's a brand new day.
Birds are singing duets together.
And squirrels are chasing each other across the treetops.
Everyone has a twinkle in their eye.
Boom, chicka-boom.
Don't let junk get in the way.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
We've got magic in our fingertips.
And that's why everyone starts dancing.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air, I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Text entitled with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details. I love Kia. You'll love the savings on brand new Kias this month at JT's Kia. We're loaded with new Kias. Hundreds of new Kia Sorento, Soul, Rio, Fortes to choose from. Fall head over wheels with a new Kia Sorento. Drive for just $219 a month. Has your credit heart been broken? Other dealers said no, but JT can say those 3 special words. Yes, yes, yes. The cars you love at prices you'll cherish. This month at JT's Kia. Killian Commons Road, jtskia.com.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Leesburg Road near Fairmount Drive. We have an injury accident there. Also, Clemson Road and Hardscrabble Road. And a disabled vehicle could be causing a little slowdown. I-26 westbound there at Sunset Boulevard. Near record-breaking heat today. Could get as high as 85. And tomorrow, 79 for the high with some rain coming in the afternoon. 65 right now at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Just in that break, Jen, we have big news. We have a giveaway we want to do.
Do we want to do that now? Today?
I think we should so that people can plan ahead accordingly.
I think it's pretty exciting.
There you go. Our fearless sales leader, Josh Yeoman, wandering in to let us know that here at 1075 The Game, we have come across a pair of tickets to Sunday's sold out women's basketball game against Georgia. Senior Day.
I think it's a big deal. It's a cash register worthy.
12 p.m. Right now, caller number 5, 803-404-6100. Sold out. 12 p.m. tip-off against Georgia. It is senior day for Aaliyah Boston. There's so many great players over there. You right now
She can't be a senior yet. She can't.
I'm actually doing it in my head, that making sure she is, but she is. Yeah, it's crazy. So 803-404-6100. Caller number 5 will win a pair of tickets sold out. Tonight, the women take on Tennessee, 7 o'clock. You can hear it right here on 1075 The Game. You can also catch it on ESPN. That game up in Knoxville. And then, again, right now, those tickets for Saturday against Georgia, 12 noon tip-off at Colonial Life Arena.
Speaking of tears, nothing like a good senior night for some tears.
This class, we'll see what happens. Obviously, with the remainder of this year. It's going to be hard to argue for a lot of these women that they shouldn't be let's say if they win this year, 3-time national champions. You got the COVID year, obviously. Things happen. NCAA tournament's a crazy, crazy experience. It's a lot of fun. You do get upsets, and you can't say for certain, but it's going to be very possible that this class, I'd have to go back and look at some of the baseball classes, especially the ones that went to 3 straight national titles, and see who were seniors, or 3 state national championship games and won 2 titles. But in terms of like all-time
most decorated
classes, this one's going to be up there.
They're obviously up there. You'd have to look at the numbers specifically to see if they're number 1, but they're obviously in the top.
Yeah, Zaya Cook, Aaliyah Boston, Bria Bill, part of that group. Victoria Saxton, part of it. Letitia Amahir, great class that has come through and is such a big part of. Now, what is the building? I guess you would say. I don't know. You set a foundation, then what you put your flooring in. I don't know. I'm not I don't do construction. You get the point. But it's unbelievable, and then the fan support that has been there for them. Tonight again, you can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. They'll go on the road to take on Tennessee, and then be back home for Sunday's contest. We'll have that game. We will have Sunday's contest on WISW. The baseball game will be taking place on 107.5 The Game. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in. Coming up next, it is the Checkered Flag Challenge, sponsored by Corley Pool Solutions. I think I've learned Preston's secret. He went out and spoke with Tyler Head. No. You should have done that more. Way more under. More under the radar there than how you pulled that one off.
Just
there,
a man using his resources.
Instead of using the betting line like Bill does.
Exactly.
I read.
5 minutes before.
Well, technically, we're about to start in a minute, so it was more like 8 to 10 minutes ahead of time. So we've got that going for us. Again, just to kind of recap everything from today, because we'll get in with Kerry Tharp next. Baseball, I don't know what to make of that team. You keep blowing people out, Preston, and we'll find out more. We'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow. Jamie Bradford will be in studio with us from 8 to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we'll talk a lot of baseball then. But when you beat teams, when you beat teams in the manner they do, and there were question marks going into the season. It's one thing if you're like number 1 Georgia in football and you're blowing Oregon out 49-0 and beating 49-3 and beating South Carolina 48-7. There's no questions then. But when there were questions about your team coming in and you're beating teams in this manner, do you think the questions still remain?
Yeah, the questions can still remain, but I'm just saying it's better to be on this side than not. Yes, the questions can still remain, and then we know that they're playing a tough schedule. Clemson's going to be good. The SEC is a tough schedule. They will drop games eventually. However, getting off to this great start, it's like rocket fuel, man. You want to get up as high as you can, as quick as you can, and they will come down to earth eventually. The bats will cool off, but at what point? So, yeah, let's get as many as we can right now.
Basketball, we've talked obviously a lot about that last night. A tough loss for Lamont Paris. Certainly a step in the right direction in terms of how this team has performed throughout the season, but at the end of the day, it's still a loss, and that's kind of the bad thing about it. You need to pick up some victories. South Carolina, just a couple games remaining left on the schedule. We mentioned that they will be on the road this coming Saturday night at Tennessee. The Volunteers coming off a loss to Texas A&M on Tuesday night. The Gamecocks travel to Thompson Bowling Arena 6 o'clock on Saturday night. Next Tuesday night, South Carolina on the road at Mississippi State, and then the Gamecocks will wrap up their home slate on Saturday, March the 4th against Georgia. So not really an easy slate there to close out. We'll see what they can do. So we've gotten into all that, and as we head into the Checkered Flag Challenge, sponsored by Corley Pool Solutions, I leave you with this text message, because the other thing we've discussed is the XFL and the Rock. XFL action tonight. St. Louis. Oh, I've already forgotten St. Louis's name. St. Louis Battlehawks against the Seattle Sea Dragons. We've discussed the Rock, and of course he's owner of that. I leave you with this text message. As we've talked all Rock movies, Sadler T. There's a whole generation of kids who have no idea the Rock was a wrestler. Man, that makes me feel old.
He was electric.
803-404-6100. Kerry Tharp in the Checkered Flag Challenge, sponsored by Corley Pool Solutions, up next.
Here's what's coming up
on the next Extra Point.
I think you're going to see some Bryles, run and pass game concepts. You're going to see some NFL stuff, and you're going to see tempo. And all those things, I think, are things that Shane Beamer likes and wants it to be about. We also know that having pro elements is something he's interested in. That checks that box. NFL experience. He is the hire. So now I think you have to judge him on what happens from this point forward as South Carolina's offensive coordinator, as opposed to, what happened in the past, because in about an hour, it's going to be officially official.
The Extra Point
with Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central.
9 a.m. to noon
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5. The Game.
This person here with Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. And they'll come to you. They'll give you a free quote for any job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location and they'll replace it for you, usually for free. And they'll work directly with your insurance company to take away the headache. If you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, showers, and closures. As you hear me say all the time, if you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. Check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Sponsored by Audible. Find everything you love listening to on Audible. Hear celebrity memoirs, mysteries, true crime, sci-fi, and more. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
Plus, text entitled with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. Thousands of people around the Midlands had their credit damaged during the pandemic. Now, as they attempt to reestablish credit, they find themselves being turned down. JT wants to help, and he has the power to say, you're approved. Take advantage of the lowest prices on Jeeps right now, up to $7,500 off. Rams up to $11,000 off. You can drive for just $349 a month and help your credit. JT's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 378 Lexington, jtsjeep.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Pioneer Tree Service has more than 4 decades of helping homeowners maintain and manage trees on their property. Their skilled crew offers customized solutions that match your needs and budget. Tree trimming and tree removal can be dangerous. You need to trust the people that are doing the job. Before attempting to remove limbs, call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote. They remove limbs safely and make sure that future growth is directed away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands of pounds, and their removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art heavy equipment, from track hose to bucket trucks, to safely remove trees and stumps from your property. And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. And I want you to call them at 803-794-8253.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South Carolina law firm dedicated to resolving your tax problems for good. Simply put, we solve tax problems. So if you're facing IRS tax liens, bank or wage levies, or have years of unfiled tax returns, come meet with us in person. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll show you how we will solve your problem and how much it'll cost. So don't put it off any longer. Call us now at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to our website at irsproblemsolving.com. It is time to do something about that tax problem. Your solution is right here in South Carolina. So hire a South Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
107.5 The game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
So I left you with that text from Sadler T about being sad that there's a whole generation of kids that don't know who The Rock was. Here's another one. This one coming in and says, as a longtime teacher, it used to make me mad because there was a generation that only knew Sting, the wrestler. Nowadays, the generation doesn't know who the wrestler or the musician. I'm old. Well, there we go.
Oh, it comes for you quickly. You're like, hey, guys, you ever remember? And they're like, what?
Joining us now for the Checkered Flag Challenge, sponsored by Corley Pool Solutions, is well-known rock expert and movie lover Kerry Tharp. Kerry, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you right off the bat. Favorite rock movie?
Favorite rock movie?
The Rock, yeah, or The Rock.
The Rock.
Dwayne
Oh,
Johnson.
Oh,
yeah.
I got you. The Rock. It would, in my mind, it would be Walking Tall.
Okay, there you go.
Consensus.
Walking
A lot of votes for Walking Tall.
I thought he was really, really good in that one. I think I think he's a good actor. But I like Walking Tall. I thought it was pretty good.
Let's do this to start, because I think with Preston getting involved, I got probably more interaction both on social media and just out and about last Thursday and Friday and Saturday as I have people asking about picks and stuff. For those that really don't pay attention, Kerry and Jen, explain what happened at the end of Daytona last week with overtime, with an overtime race scenario, and then you really don't finish the race because Reggie Anderson wins again, and you're going to be hard pressed. You're going to be hard pressed to convince me he didn't have some control over whoever was in charge of hitting the caution button right as Stenhouse pulled ahead of Joey Logano, taking a win away from Preston.
Well, I will say this. Reggie doesn't have that kind of clout, trust me.
Yeah, right.
But no way. But here it is, and hopefully in layman's terms, used to back in the day, teams they would let teams race back to what they called the checkered flag, and so what that meant is that no matter what was going on the racetrack, you just race back to the checkered flag, and it became an unsafe situation. There was a lot of wrecks, and might have even been a fatality or two that took place because of that. So they've gone back and forth over the years with several different ways to do it. They used to have 3 attempts at a what they call a green-white checker. Now what it is that when you get to the announced distance of the race, and a caution comes out, if the white flag has not been displayed, then you have what you call overtime. And that's what we saw the other night at Daytona. We had an overtime. We went to second overtime. And then on that final overtime, the white flag had come out, which means basically the caution comes out. The field is what they say frozen, and whoever's ahead at the time of the caution is the race winner. And so I don't know if people totally understand all that, but that's the way that it is officiated now. And I think a lot of it has to do with safety. And most of the time, it's at big super speedway races like that. Sometimes that comes into effect. because of all the chaos there at the end of the race. But that's pretty much what happened the other night at Daytona. Jen, did I miss anything?
No, I think you explained it perfectly, and it's a little anticlimactic when it's done like that, but I understand because obviously there's a wreck, so they need to just finish the race as it was at the at the point of impact, or the point that they hit the button. And that was definitely the big explanation, is it's not necessarily when the wreck happened, but when they hit the button to put on the yellow light. Is that correct? Or
Right.
You're understanding it? Yep.
And trust me, it was not Reggie Anderson hitting that button.
Preston, another week of Preston Learns NASCAR. Did you pick up the overtime rules now? Are we a little bit more ingrained in that?
I'm on sports overload. I'm trying to learn soccer. I'm trying to learn NASCAR. I got a lot going on here. I'm trying to separate them.
impressed, I will say.
So I'm working on it. I'm just getting the idea of what a caution flag is now.
Okay.
So I'm working through it.
It's not a challenge.
Mhm.
It's something different.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And as I told you guys several weeks ago, Preston is a quick study.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nobody that could pick up on stuff any quicker than Preston Thorne. So I have total confidence in him getting all this. And by mid-season, Bill, he'll know every bit as much as you do about.
Well, I mean, you say that he literally is, I don't know, inches, maybe a foot at most away from winning his first ever Corley Pool Solutions Pick'em contest. So, I mean, he nearly
was.
He was right there at it. All right. Real quick, Jen's going to pick first this week. Go ahead. What? Just give us a quick preview. What do you expect at Fontana?
Oh,
Yeah,
you're talking to me. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Fontana is really become a pretty cool racetrack. It's a 2-mile racetrack. This is actually going to be the last race on this particular track. They're looking to turn that into a short track sometime in the near future. But the racing out there has become pretty good over the last several years, and I think you're going to see a little bit different style of racing than what you saw at Daytona. You won't see as much pack racing and that type of thing, but I really think it'll be an exciting race on Sunday afternoon.
All right, Jen, with that said, we're going worst to first. You pick first, I pick second. Kerry's got third. Where are you going with your pick?
I tell you, I really struggled with this one a little bit. Kyle Larson won last year. Could he do it again? I don't know. I really have had a hard time with this one. I think I'm going to go with Larson. I don't know that that's the smartest choice, but I think that's where I'm going to go.
All right, I'll make this pretty simple. Kyle Busch has been really, really good.
That was my second choice.
Yeah, I'm taking your pick. Kyle Busch has been really, really good there. Give me Kyle Busch. We move on to Kerry.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to stick with my guns, what I had last week, Ryan Blaney. I thought he recovered a little bit last week. He got caught up in some accidents and still had a decent finish. Let me go with Ryan Blaney to get his first win in over a year.
Love it.
All right, Preston, it was an exciting experience for you last week. You were inches away from winning.
Yes.
How did you consume that race? How did you absorb it? Or were you asleep when they crossed the checker?
Well, I heard when they crossed the finish line, I had to actually remember who my pick was. And when I heard that Logano, I was like, oh, that's my guy. So I knew I was in there. But my sources tell me that we're going to go with Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, he's from California, and he's very strong at the 2-milers. So this is going to be my guy for this week.
Awesome.
Ooh, good pick. Good pick.
Mm-hmm.
And because Reggie actually won, he picks last, a place he was used to being in last year, and still somehow won. So, all right, we'll get Reggie's pick and replay that tomorrow. Kerry, we always appreciate it, man. It's we're off to a fun start, that's for sure.
80 days to Darlington.
No question. 80 days to Darlington, fellas and ladies. So talk to y'all soon.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you next week. Kerry Tharp joining us as he does each and every week for the Checkered Flag Challenge, sponsored by Corley Pool Solutions. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, Tracy Corley and his team is ready to maintain your pool. All right, that was quite the busy program. We're gonna take a break. We'll do it again tomorrow. Y'all take care.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia, your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game, a Cumulus media station.
Just text entitled with approved credit call 888-320-6359 for details. I love Kia. You'll love the savings on brand new Kias this month at JT's Kia. We're loaded with new Kias. Hundreds of new Kia Sorento, Soul, Rio, Fortes to choose from. Fall head over wheels with a new Kia Sorento. Drive for just $2.
All right, everybody. Preston. So good morning or goodbye.
Good evening. Good night. See you in a little bit.
There you go. We will see everybody tomorrow. Whee.